Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Black once again lined up behind Nowakowski. They hand it off to the fullback / tight end, and he powers in. Touchdown, Indiana. A dominant start here for the #1 team. Maybe the opener. That was from 47. This is from 50. And it doinks off the right upright. That's the second time he's doinked one in the CFP. Great job corralling number 10, not letting him get loose. Fletcher breaks free. Mark Fletcher in the front race. Miami touchdown. And just like that, Miami's bell cow back changes around this championship game. Dylan Joyce back on. Blocked! Indiana blocks the punt and falls in it for a touchdown. Isaiah Jones on the recovery. He's going to take off and run, then goes up, weaves his way first and goal, diving toward the end zone. Touchdown!
Good morning. Welcome in Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Next Gen Mail Medical. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. What's up, DB?
I don't know.
I think we got a little.
No.
We got a little Indiana National Championship. That's all.
That's not what we have.
Oh, we don't? Okay.
Yeah.
What I watched yesterday then?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
What you were incognito for a while. Where were you at all day?
No, it wasn't. When was
During the day, or was I not?
I think you weren't texting either.
Oh, I feel like we're in the blame game in this relationship.
Just choking here.
It's on your 30th packet of Cheez-Its.
It's a little. I haven't even opened the Cheez-Its yet. Those are fresh.
Those
are
is it
new.
a bit now?
No, I eat those.
Oh, I'm well aware.
Oh, then how would it be a bit?
So we're rocking with the Pop-Tarts first.
We got the Pop-Tarts. Well, because the blood sugar was dipping a little bit, so I went something a little higher carb.
And then we have the three, count them, 1, 2, 3 bags of Gizettes.
I probably won't eat all those during the show.
And then 2 Diet Cokes. And what I don't, is something different in your tumbler?
What do you mean? No, there's Diet Coke in the tumbler.
So you're just low, like.
Yeah, you got to stay loaded up, man.
How many ounces is this?
40.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Dang.
But I go ice.
I need some St. Ice.
I go ice heavy, though.
Me too.
So I go like.
Can you hear it?
Yeah, I go like at least halfway full of ice.
Ratio is important.
And then I go Diet Cokes on top of that. So it's not 40 ounces of Diet Cokes. It's probably about a can and a half in there, which is only like 18. It's not bad.
You're weird.
I'm well below the threshold to give rats cancer for my Diet Coke intake.
I don't understand.
Oh, it's the aspartame. Everybody's like, oh, it's going to give you cancer. It takes like 20 cans a day for years.
I told you about the sermon I heard one time from a very bright individual, and he was referring to it as aspartame.
Yeah, I don't think that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that's right.
Aspartame. And he runs a fairly huge company.
Is he a scientist?
Started with Mid-America
Is he a scientist?
No.
Okay, so I'll take my chances.
No. He was a guest speaker in the pulpit one day. This is probably about 7, 8 years ago.
Yeah. I mean, you can be really smart and like sciencey names. You can still be wrong on them.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I was at Hy-Vee on 156th and Maple. We had an event Saturday, and it just reminded me that used to be my Hy-Vee.
Yep.
And so it's like old home week. But one of my favorite guys is at a different place now, so I had to put out an APB and find him. But because I said 7 or 8 years ago, and it triggered a thought where I was in there one day. This is like 2018. This is a couple years before COVID, because I think he'd had enough of COVID and he went to a different place at work. But he used to help me with all my meat.
Okay.
I was really getting into it, cuts, and this was like the birthing of starting to take off. And he said, hey, he's like, DB. So he's got like this sweet mustache. He reminds me of Yosemite Sam, except it's not red. His name is Gus. Gus used to babysit me. He would tinker with like the breakfast sausage mixtures. I'd say, how come sometimes it's a little more red? How come sometimes it's a little more and he was super engaging.
Yeah.
So I even then I didn't have any friends. So I just talked to the meat guy. And he goes, hey, I got something I want you to try. He goes, now you gotta have an open mind. It's not very big, but I'm telling you, if you like ribeyes, then you're gonna like this.
Mm-hmm.
He said, it's small though. I said, what's that? He said, they call it the chuck eye.
Oh,
This was 2018.
never heard of this.
You've never heard of a chuck eye?
Huh.
Oh, it's like it's not all the craze,
I
but
thought
it
you were-
it is why you cannot get good chuck roast. You don't grocery shop, so this is
No, but Chuck is
literally-
like it used to be the cheap one, and like the one nobody wanted.
yeah, but there's this part, and you can just kind of tear it off, and it comes out naturally.
Mm-hmm.
But what grocery stores try to do to you now is you have to, if you buy chuck. I don't buy chuck because I just don't.
Mm-hmm.
It's very pricey. They remove the chuck eye, so you get like the.
So you don't even
other-
get the good part.
and
'Cause Chuck used to be like the
and
cheap
they
one, right?
sell- yeah, it's
Okay.
it should still be cheap, but
Okay.
they pulled the chuck eye out.
So they pull the good powder out, and they still charge you
Yeah,
more.
and he gave it to me, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!" And I lived on like a North 142nd Ave, just right
Mhm.
off of State Street. So this was years ago. He was way ahead of the game. So I don't know why I thought that, except for when I was there, I wanted to see him. And like, you should see me now. I have cow charts at my house. I go to packing plants and talk to guys about cuts of meat.
Do you think he'd be proud of you?
I don't know. He'd probably say you need friends. But
Do you think he'd go all? Yeah, I am so proud.
hey, what are you doing today? Oh, I'm gonna go down to Southville and hang out with my buddy.
Gonna go hang out at the meat packing plants.
And Sean's probably like, "What do you want?" I'm
Mm.
like, "Nothing. I'm just being nosy."
I thought you were gonna say when you're going down that story. I thought you were gonna say the rib cap or the rib crown,
No,
because
but
that's a small part that not a
and
lot of
and
people.
It's the best part.
It's really good.
Yeah, I'm a big cap guy.
Our friends over at Omaha Steaks introduced me to that.
Yeah,
Whew.
I miss them. When they coming back?
I don't know. We should get them back. We like them.
Dude, I ate that meat for 3 days.
That stuff was so good.
Do you know what happened because of that?
What's that?
I buy their seasoning.
I've been thinking about that smash burger since then.
They had the routine down pat.
Yeah, they were.
So I
good
buy
to
their.
go.
It's one of my 39,000 seasons. It's so out of control.
It's all right. You know, you gotta keep your
You know what I
flavor
need to
going.
do? I need you to come over and sort it.
That doesn't sound like something I'm gonna do at all.
Why?
Well, first of all,
I don't have. I'd have to do it in sessions.
I'm not a great like organizer of household items.
Yeah, not surprised.
Yeah, I mean,
not surprised.
if anything, based on the way you've described your fridge and like shower situation, I would hire you to come over and organize my house.
We're making progress.
I'm not like let's get all the spices in the right space.
She's on it now.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was very quiet. She's well behaved.
Yeah, no, she was. She had the headphones on. She was good to go.
Yeah, she's like, I don't know why you guys just always talk. Why don't you just? It's okay to not. I said it's a talk show. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
She's traumatized. We went to Costco and they're out of her 4 cheese.
oh, yeah, because she wanted pasta yesterday.
You know. And then we went to another place and they were out.
I thought she wanted tortellini.
That's what I mean.
Oh, okay.
That's the one that looks like
Yeah,
the
it's like
top of a rose.
yeah.
That's what she was looking for.
Ravioli is the squares. I'm just trying to help.
It's fine.
You're right. Spaghetti is the long, stringy one.
Hey, how's your Golden State Warriors? Douchebag.
Well, you gotta go cheap shots.
Well, they made 80-something threes in the last 4 games. I thought they were well on their way.
Can I just say, like,
That's a lot.
I know we probably shouldn't get to Jonathon Kuminga before we do the national championship, but I'm going to.
I called my shot though, and I said, "Oh, you're just gonna hold on to that guy till January."
My God, man, like you
Remember that?
Yes, you have to be better than that to demand a trade.
No, he's just talking.
If somebody wanted to trade for you, I swear to God, the Golden State Warriors would happily oblige.
He's waiting for the rule. He can now move before he's free to move now.
Yeah, he was free to move in the offseason too, and nobody wants him.
But once they redid the deal, though, you had to have the wait period.
Yeah, now somebody's going to want him when he's owed more money. What are we doing?
Well, you just got more valuable with your boy Butler on the fritz.
No, he didn't get more valuable.
Were you just falling in love with Jimmy Butler?
No, I was glad they tried something, but I've never been a huge Jimmy Butler guy.
Yeah.
He's fine. But the playoff Jimmy, and it's like for what he is, his prowess is overstated.
I think you're on that today because you're mad at actors.
Well, no, that's permanent. I just don't think Daniel Day-Lewis is good. I don't buy it. Like, I watch There Will Be Blood like it's a comedy.
I'm like, good morning. Can we turn down the temp in here? It's 164 degrees, and he's like, Danny Day-Lewis is overrated.
No, here's
Shane's like, can I start the show?
Here's Rowdy says, never mind. We were talking about Diet Coke, and he took it a different direction. So
What?
here's the problem: is you quoted what is his name? It just escaped me.
Bad Eye Guy?
Yeah.
Forrest Whitaker.
Forrest Whitaker. There we go. And you quoted him, and I was like, yeah, he's kind of really going for it in that scene. Like he's doing a little too much in that whole movie, really, honestly. And then I was like, it reminds me of Daniel Day-Lewis because just the entire time he's on the screen, he's just way over the top. I don't know what we're doing. Like, it's like a Fernando Mendoza post-game interview. It's like, what are we doing here?
How about my man's expletive?
Oh, did he drop one? I missed it.
Oh, yeah, big fat F word.
Wow.
You didn't?
I totally missed that. Was it in the initial one? The initial interview right after the game?
Did you not read my text? You guys were just laughing at what I said, but it was all part of the bit.
I totally missed that.
So right when I text that's what he said.
Oh, wow. I missed him dropping an F-bomb.
Oh, here. I'll find it for you.
Yeah, we could play that on here because we don't have any rules.
You missed that?
I really did.
He didn't enunciate it super well, but I think, it would have been hard to miss, to be honest.
Was it when he was talking to Holly Rowe?
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally missed that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure.
I caught the little subtle barb of these guys wouldn't even let me walk on 2 years ago.
Yeah, he's one of those, everybody's now trying to find the next Fernando Mendoza. Hey, how many schools wanted that guy? I was like, guys, listen. He's kind of flying under the radar. That was part of it.
Yeah.
And
you liked him a lot coming out of Cal.
You ready?
Yeah. What do we got here?
Great job. Let's take a group of guys. I love you guys. Great job. Let's fucking go.
Oh, I didn't. You could have played that for me 100 times, and if you didn't tell me that was an F word,
Did you see my response though?
I never would have. No. What? Well, I did, but I don't remember what it was.
That was what it was in regards to.
All right, let me find it.
Yeah. Go back, revisit.
Was this the?
Yes.
You said cap that. Right before the cap that game perfectly.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Is it just in the start?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that was a.
I was like, is he? And his poor mom, she looked mortified.
Probably. It'd be like if I drop one in front of my mom. She was.
No, she knows you're capable.
I think she would hit me.
He looked fairly pedestrian until he had to.
Yeah, he looked fairly pedestrian until besides the run.
Are we gonna act like Becker just didn't have one of the most
Unbelievable catches, multiple
last thirds of the season?
Oh yeah. Like last 6 games.
Like what was his coming out party? Penn State, maybe?
What was 6 games
I need to go
ago?
look at his game logs.
What was? Yeah, I'll look it up.
I'm telling you, and he's gonna vault into the top 2 rounds. He's incredible.
No, his body control, the hands, the whole thing is unreal.
Dude, how about this 4th and 5, and that's what you dial up?
Well, okay, so twice, 4th and 5, the back shoulder to Becker.
Yeah.
And then 4th and 4, and he's like, yeah, QB draw.
Dude, the QB draw, I almost fell on the floor. I had one of my he's just a family now, but one of my former players came over. And we were just watching the game together and talking about life. And he's working on his CDL license and he's doing an apprenticeship for to be an electrician. And he just got a new truck. He wanted to show me his truck, and I was like, that's pretty sweet. And his mom his aunt works at the airline. She's the one that totally bailed me out to help me get Zoe on the flight.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, come here, baby.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember this.
Yeah. So anyway, he came over and we were FaceTiming Marquise Siegel
Mhm.
because he's coming Monday to visit after.
49er great, Marquis Siegel.
You know who his boy is?
Who?
Trent Williams.
Oh, really?
And I said, Keese,
How did that happen?
because Marquise is tough.
Yeah. So Trent's like about that life.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
He's taking him to there's like 4 of them taking Trent's plane
Really?
to the islands. He's like, man, we're working on Bora Bora in April. I was like, huh. You're 24 years old. I can barely go to Fremont, and you're going to Bora Bora. Tough.
Do you want to go to Bora Bora?
No.
Okay. Well, that helps.
No, man. I like nice weather. I don't want to be hot. And unless I'm swimming with sharks, I'm not going to tan.
So Becker's first game with more than 2 receptions or more than 52 yards occurred at Penn State.
I knew it.
He went 7 for 118, 5 for 108. He only had 1 for 6 at Purdue. Then he goes 6 for 126 at Ohio State, 2 for 51 at Bama, 2 for 48 Oregon.
It's incredible.
And 4 for 65, including the probably 2 biggest catches of the game against Miami in the national
where was this
championship.
guy the whole first half of the season? First 2/3 of the season.
1 for 4 against Old Dominion, 2 for 35 against Kent State, 1 for 31 against
Secret weapon.
Indiana State.
That's it.
Charlie Becker.
Sig the Prophet he's playing checkers.
Did you playing chess?
Well, he was playing checkers then.
Oh, okay.
And then he transitioned to the chess game without telling us.
Did you see Mark Cuban talk about why he invested in Indiana football?
No.
So it was
Just like Shark Tank and he wanted to buy low.
well, kind of like
This is temperament.
he was like, I really appreciated that he wasn't just like, hey, give me all this money. I'm going to get into bidding wars and I'm going to try and win the portal. He's like, he laid out for me exactly what he was looking for, exactly the type of guys he was going to go recruit. And he's like, some of them are going to cost a little more, some of them won't. But he's like, I'm not trying to get into this bidding war. Like, I need the top guy at every position in the portal. He's like, I know exactly what I'm looking for. And whatever that guy costs is what I'm going to ask you for. He's like, I'm not just going to ask for blank checks, though.
Yeah.
And Cuban's like, that makes sense to me. I can get on board with that.
I'm telling you. So I'm going to leave this. I'll leave it alone. But fiscal spending and good fiscal spending in the portal will pay dividends over time if people have enough time.
If they're given enough time?
Yeah, just be smart with the money because the market is not sustainable.
No, it's not.
It's
not even
just
close.
Not. So you have to hang in there. You have to hang in there and get better while you're buying yourself time. That's the trick, baby.
So what's funny about that is we were talking about the composite talent rankings yesterday.
Yeah, 71 to start the season.
71, 72. Miami was 15. You know what? I finally found a 7-round mock draft. You know how many Indiana guys were in there versus Miami?
Oh, I can only imagine. I'll go. By the way, Shane, are you going to see Rascal Flatts?
I think that's Mercy Me.
Negative.
I know, but it made me.
That made you think of Rascal Flatts?
Yeah.
All right.
Negative, Ghost Rider.
You skipped that part out loud, so it's hard to.
Have you not been in my head before?
I haven't, actually. Kenny's in there. He scares me.
You think I care about steps? It's all about pinging.
You seem like a big pedometer guy. I thought maybe you're counting.
I don't even know. Is that what counts the things?
Yeah, it's one of those little step counter deals.
Yeah. You're not going?
No. That's not my
Are
jam.
you going?
No.
Weren't you Googling their catalog to see what they were playing? You were asking Daniel.
I could
You're
only
like,
think,
hey, amazing Daniel, big Rascal Flats guy.
That's
Do you know what their catalog is for Saturday?
That's 100% what happened. Yeah.
Daniel was like, hey, let me tell you about Jim Caviezel.
He said, me too. Also a big Rascal Flats guy. No?
God bless this broken road.
Led me straight to you.
All right. Just not get weird.
Would you like to guess how many Indiana guys are in the 7-round mock draft?
Are you going, Damon?
No.
Okay.
I don't have any friends.
Take Zoe. She'd probably like it.
Hey, Zoe, want to go to a concert? Now.
You should ask Micah if he wants to go to Rascal Flats. See how that goes.
I bet I couldn't even get an answer. I asked him yesterday if he had me on Do Not Disturb.
What'd he say?
He said, "No, my phone's right here. What's up?"
He says, "No, I manually ignore you."
This is gonna be the end of me. I'm gonna go 7-round mock draft.
7-round mock. This is from Pro Football Network. It's the only people I could find that had a 7-rounder out.
So I'll go 9-4.
In favor of
Miami.
Indiana has 11.
Oh, 11.
Miami has 7.
Oh gosh.
So we were talking about talent discrepancies yesterday. I did find it because somebody asked me like, "Hey, yeah, that's fine for guys coming in.
No,
what did it look like coming out?"
Yeah, so
That's why I
that
looked
was
it
the
up.
response on social media. He goes, "That doesn't mean they have better players."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Means they were considered better coming in.
Yeah.
But that I think is a kind of a testament to this whole Cignetti thing we're talking about. And with talent,
Yeah, because you probably would not have thought Becker would go before. What's his buckets that has the Butterfingers?
oh, for my
He should have had one last night. But anyway, like you look at those guys head to head, and you're
Yeah.
thinking, well, I'll probably take the other guy.
you're like, yeah, that looks better.
Becker's like, yeah, I'll be playing 9 years.
Daniels,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Holler at me.
yeah, he's like, well, same. That's what I was talking about with Surratt yesterday. He's probably not going to the 4th round,
Yeah,
depending on what he runs, whatever. But like that's
and last night wasn't even vintage.
No,
Surratt.
no, he was only okay. He had a couple big catches, bad drop at one point,
Yeah.
but you sit there and you go, okay.
Let me ask you something, though.
Yeah, go ahead.
Now that you know those numbers about the draft, who looked like the better team?
Miami looked more talented last night.
Didn't they?
Yeah.
It's just like it's weird.
It is.
Although you know what really cost them last night?
What's that?
When they had to, they couldn't tackle.
No, they couldn't. That was one of the biggest, like, starkest differences between the two teams.
Like they just could not tackle.
Like Malachi Tony really didn't get loose except for the one. They did a really good job tackling him in space for Indiana. And whether it was Surratt a couple times, whether it was Cooper, whether it was Black, whether it was Hemby, like Miami did not.
Black is a heavy run ridden.
Yes.
He's got some lead in his pencil.
It was kind of startling. And from the jump, too.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it was first series of the
play
game,
on the
right?
RPO,
Yeah.
Coop gets loose on it should have been a 4-yard gain.
Just kind of turns to the outside and boom, gone. Not touchdown, but out of the guy's hands.
Ask you something?
Yeah, what's up?
Do you think the new kickoff rules in the format have encouraged poor decision making? Because remember 3 years ago, 4 years ago, it was my man K. Kuz, right? It used to drive. He was one of the few guys that never, because Nebraska struggled in the return game, like just yardage, like punt returns and kickoff returns, always ranking low. He's like, the heck with the stats. Stop returning those.
Yeah.
Like just fair. And he would say it like 1 out of every 6 shows, right? So I stored that in the Rolodex, and now I find myself saying,
just fair catch that.
Stop returning those.
Yeah.
Dude, that buried Miami last night.
Yeah. They got
and it's not like it's a thing.
Well, and if not just because of the return yards, because they couldn't stop holding people on returns.
Are you encouraged now with the format, even though it's safer? Like you're just more apt to want to bring that thing out?
I think so. I don't know if it's just guys get sort of caught up in wanting to make plays or what. I don't know what it is, but it does seem more advantageous than ever. Just be like, yeah, I'm not dealing with this. There's too many, like the risk reward of a kickoff return versus fair catching it.
I should have brought up Stat Broadcast to see what the average starting field position was.
Is not like it doesn't make any sense to me. So many more bad things can happen returning it than good things. Like most of the time, you're not, unless you've got a truly special guy.
I'm not even going to fake. I'm trying to return that thing. Now, I'm not going to be an idiot.
Yeah.
This time. But, I mean.
But if you're talking about as a player, right? You're back there, you want to return that thing.
Yeah.
What about now as a coach and you do a lot of special teams?
Oh, I want that thing returned.
Okay.
Oh,
how much?
And that's my baby, too.
I know you did when Caleb was back there.
Caleb, Tay.
Well, sure, Tay now.
Trey Fairgood Jones.
How much of this is
Marquise Siegel? Any of them. Return that thing.
How much of this is with the guy you have back there, though?
Kind of a loaded question because I'm always going to have a good returner.
Yeah.
So, and I like our scheme, too.
Okay.
No, we're going to try to. Do you know how many times teams don't kick to us?
A lot, yeah.
Yeah, no, we're trying to return that thing.
And then when they get a penalty, you make them kick it again.
Plus, high school is easier because nobody coaches it hard.
Yeah.
I won't say nobody, but.
No, but it's like special teams in college 30, 40 years ago, where
Yeah.
it was sort of an afterthought.
Hey, last 15 minutes of practice, let's do specials. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah.
I mean, like Frank Beamer and Bill
I would
Snyder
be-
built programs on being the only guys that coach special teams hard.
God, and listen, it's not like I make bad decisions. I had a bad one against Miami.
Yeah.
No, it was FSU maybe. Might have been the year before. One I shouldn't have returned, and we started at like the 18.
Yeah.
And inevitably, of course, I heard the whole probably need to make a better decision. Let's stay in the game. Can't let emotions get the best of us.
Your TO voice kills me.
Man. Keep me up at night sometimes.
Probably need to make better decisions.
Oh, just real
I know,
subtle.
whoa.
At least he put his arm around me.
Did he hit you with that feels like a Damon moment.
It was a very exciting game. Opening, it's like
Yeah.
you're trying to make a play.
No, I mean, like, does he hit you with when he's really trying, like, does he hit you with the Damon? Or what does he call you when when he's really hey, I need you to do better here, bud.
I'm not going to tell the full story, but like the third time I got in trouble in like 2 months.
Yeah.
2 were fairly not good.
Yeah.
It's like, well, Damon, you clearly have a hard time making good decisions over time. Somebody I want you to talk to. I was like, it's the summer. Who's around? I'd like to introduce you to this guy, Jack Stark.
I was like, is that what you meant, the famous Jack Stark?
I was like, huh. He said, we're going to have to go ahead and test you now, too, Damon. All right, buddy. I don't do drugs, but that's fine. I just drink a lot.
Maybe he was hoping. Maybe he was hoping the bad decision making could be chalked up to something else.
It's one of my best friends, though. I gave him a huge hug in the lobby in Vegas.
Who's that?
It's Dr. Stark!
Oh, Jack Stark. I was just wondering, when he's really disappointed.
No, it's Damon, and it's hurtful.
Well, Damon probably need to make better decisions here.
Yeah, I'm telling you, he broke the tension with the arm.
Oh, did he? And then you're just okay, I guess I'll just take this.
I'm trying to house that thing. I'm just telling you. No, but it was like, what are they doing? You want to start at the 16 your whole life? It's hard to score that way.
It is.
It's really hard to score that way.
It's better to start from the 25.
And I felt like for 3.5 quarters, I was like, man, Miami might be better than these guys.
They looked more talented.
But Indiana just won't make any mistakes.
It is I'm thinking that real time. I think I look at it and I go, okay, I like Fletcher as much, if not more than anybody.
Yeah, Fletcher's nice. They just get away from him too much.
Yeah, he only had 17 carries. He probably needed more than that.
I don't know.
They only threw the ball, or they only ran the ball 21 times. They threw it 32.
Now, how much of that was, well, a lot of it was situationally those last 3 drives being behind.
I get that. But early they threw it too much still instead of giving it to Fletcher.
I was getting ready to air high five the Canes over just emotionally hanging tough. I was like, new kids on the block, because they kept giving gifts away on third down, and it's so I ain't even we're not even close to the block punt yet. I'm talking about stop committing defensive penalties on third down.
Yeah, face mask on 3rd and 13. I'm like, fall the offside.
So sometimes those can be hard to overcome because it's
kind of get in your own head at a certain point.
And I told you, so I had this whole thing. This is probably a handful of years ago. I go, are you one of those people that rather know you're the one that screwed up or just have somebody be better than you? Because whatever your personality is how you probably handle those situations.
For sure.
I'm one of those people that want to know, I don't want anybody to be better than me, so I can handle if I'm the one that screwed up. It's not going to send me spiraling.
So I switched at some point in my life.
You're the one that,
Like at what I used to be like that.
but now you just
Now,
won't be.
now I want to know that I did everything I could.
Gotcha.
Like if I laid it all out there and so, like I want to be able to just say, I did everything I could. If you win, you won. I'm cool.
The moisture it's warping my man Sharpie's bobblehead. You okay, buddy?
Gotta flatten that thing back out and get some books on it or something,
Yeah. I wonder what happened.
Do you keep them in the car? It might be the temperature changes. Those are staying in the house.
Where was he? No, yeah, he might have been in the car.
Yeah, the temp changes might get you there.
He might have been in the car.
But yeah, like I'll take if I can.
He's up here because of his humility.
If I can say, hey, like I gave it everything I had, I can live with that.
I don't know. That's tough.
Like if you're Miami yesterday, or if you're Miami this morning after how it goes down yesterday,
They're probably in their feels a little.
they're probably sick.
Yeah.
Because you can point to a dozen things, just different. Hey, if we do that, and Miami and Indiana had one.
Even the QB draw, for as good a call as that was,
They had him.
they should have.
They had him bottled up.
That should not have scored.
I mean, did you see there? I know you're not a big still photo guy, but they did a bunch of people online.
Oh, I was doing stills.
Would take stills and be like, he scored on this play, and there's like 8 Miami guys around him.
I
and
did
he's
that.
4 yards from the. Oh,
And
maybe I
did
saw yours.
Yeah, and I was drawing. I
Yeah.
was like, "This is
Oh
why
yeah, you did you leveraged the man instead
leverage
of the ball.
and not
Yeah,
the
yeah.
block."
Yeah.
And then because the backer was so tentative,
Mhm.
and Herb Street hammered the safety for being late.
Yeah.
And he was a little slow to trigger, but he had to get his linebackers back because his head was on the wrong side of the block. So he had to, I think,
Mhm.
he had to be cautious in fitting in the run game because he has a look. It's on the screen right now.
I feel like we've had
the
this.
middle backer in
Yeah.
the middle should be attacking vertically.
Yeah.
Because he plays peekaboo with his head on the wrong side, the fit to his left is slow.
This is the whole conversation we had all year with Nebraska.
Oh yeah, you know who could really
Wrong fast or right slow.
Hey, Caleb in Nebraska City was so good because they put him on the hot seat. Your boy sat back and just was like, "Yeah, man, go ahead, explain it to him. Talk to him."
Because that's what we were mad at the safeties all year, which I think sometimes rightfully so. But a lot of it was either the D linemen and then the linebackers not being where they needed to be, so the decisions were easy for the second and third level guys.
Yeah, and I think to Indiana's credit too, they knew who to pick on.
Oh, for sure.
Like
100%.
You could tell it was very intentional.
But
where they were going.
It was so, I thought, stark the difference between, despite the mock drafts, like Miami looked better to me. But every single time, like the execution level on Indiana was so high, and just the lack of mistakes.
And being in third and long didn't even really bother
constantly.
them.
They were in third and long constantly. I was getting frustrated because I might have had them at 6.5.
Which, by the way, did you like my breakdown?
Yeah,
I think we should go play that again. That whole 12-minute diatribe on why I thought Miami could win.
They hung in there. They did exactly what you thought they did.
Couldn't win if it got to 27. Had to be in the low 20s.
I mean, you said I think it's you said 23-20 if Miami wins. You're like, I want to be as specific as 24. And
I did say.
You did. You're like, I want to be as specific as I think I want to say 24, but definitely not the high 20s.
Yeah, and why didn't I say Miami was going to win? Because I didn't want it to come down to what?
You didn't want to come down to Carson Beck?
Fudge.
And it came down to Carson Beck.
I said the whole Mendoza versus Beck thing is scaring me.
So the thing that I kept saying about Miami the entire playoff is don't want to trust Beck and Cristobal. I don't want to trust Beck and Cristobal. I don't want to trust Beck and Cristobal. I don't think Cristobal made a in-game gaffe, but the lack of discipline is what you kind of came to expect from Miami. They had 10 penalties for over 100 yards against Ole Miss.
Yeah.
When you do that against Indiana, you're losing. Full stop.
And the one place I thought that they actually had an advantage actually hurt them, which was special teams.
Special teams hurt them. And, I mean, you saw that's the first time, and you could tell Cignetti was frustrated. That's the first time all year that Indiana's offensive line couldn't block.
Yeah. Or rush the passer.
Yeah, like Bain kind of ate. And so did 3, whose name I always forget, who I thought had a broken arm.
Mesidor?
Yeah, Mesidor. I always want to say, like, I don't even know what it's like. I want to say, like, memoir.
You know, for all of that,
yeah,
Indiana outrushed Miami.
Because they stuck with it.
Considerably.
They had more than twice as many rushing attempts.
Yeah. Do you know how many?
It was 45-21, wasn't it?
Listen to what you just said, though, and add yards per carry. 5-2 a tote for the Canes. 2-9 for Indiana.
Yeah, sometimes the conviction to run the ball is more important than the ability.
I'm with you.
You know what I mean?
Preach.
Like, how many times?
2.9 yards a tote.
Almost half.
And they outrushed them by 70 yards.
Because they ran it 24 more times.
That's a good point.
That's crazy.
Yeah, man. No,
this is why I was like,
I
hey,
get it.
You got to get Fletcher the ball more.
No, I get it.
Like, I get they didn't run that many plays.
I get it.
Right? But this game was within 1 or 2 scores, was literally within 1 or 2 scores the entire game. You're within 1 score most of the game.
Do you know the number of plays? Well, you kind of do because you know the number of carries.
Yeah, so it was.
How many more plays do you think Indiana had than Miami?
Okay, let me think here. I think it's 20.
19.
Okay.
72-53.
Yeah.
Did it seem like that?
In the first half, yes. In the second half, no. In the first half, it felt like Miami never had the ball.
Because I think Indiana had 4 or 5 more first downs.
Yeah. It felt like Miami never had the ball.
The middle of that game, it looked like Miami was clearly the more physical team. The only advantage that I gave Indiana was when Indiana's running backs had the ball.
Yes.
Like they were giving it.
Yeah, Miami wasn't tackling well, and they kind of seemed like they weren't super interested.
Yeah, and you'd get up or they'd get up off the ground, and it's like,
how'd they get
only
5?
2nd and 7?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it was a heavy run.
Yeah.
And then they were in third mediums all night.
Yeah, they were in third. I mean, the number of like 3rd and 8s for Indiana, and it just didn't matter.
Wow.
Which the wild thing about that to me was, every time they went to one of their short passing plays, and Fowler kept calling them easy access for some reason. I don't know what that was about. That was weird. But
that whole thing
so strange
was driving me crazy.
Like, what are we doing, Fowler? I've never heard it called that in my life.
Well, how about Kirk he kept saying how fortunate Miami was blank. Miami's fortunate that this. I'm like, are we just rocking with the Big Ten, or because it's starting to really show through?
The only thing that I agreed with him on there was, and I said this in the chat, literally every replay of a passing play for Indiana, you could see jerseys pulled. But like they let
them play.
They went full Seattle Seahawks, Legion of Doom.
Well, the completion that Miami didn't get down the sidelines was PI on Indiana, and nobody said a word.
Yeah.
Do you know how many minutes? This will be good.
Okay.
I'm going to ask Shane first. Shane, do you know how many minutes there are in a quarter?
15.
Okay. How many minutes did Indiana have the ball in the fourth quarter?
I don't know.
Take a guess.
7.
Take a guess, Robbie. How many minutes did Indiana have the ball in the fourth quarter?
Not a lot. They did run on the field goal. They ran about 4.5 off.
Careful.
I'm going to say 6.
11-18.
10, 11, 12.
I didn't think they had the ball at all.
In the fourth quarter, Indiana had the ball for 11 minutes and 18 seconds.
That's wild.
Nuts.
I didn't think they had the ball at all. Like, it felt like they didn't have the ball at all.
Nuts. Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
Yeah.
I would have definitely guessed less than half. I wouldn't have gotten anywhere near 3 quarters.
First and fourth quarters. I don't know how Miami survived the middle 8, except they had the explosives.
They
in
had
the third quarter.
They had the 2 big explosive plays.
But Indiana owned the first quarter and they owned the fourth quarter.
Yeah, because Fletcher got loose right at 11 minutes in the third.
And for all those third and longs that Indiana had, now they weren't great.
Yeah,
they're only 6 of 15 on third down.
No, but for what their average third down to go was, that's actually pretty good.
Yeah, but you know the stat of the game?
What's that?
They were 2 of 2 on fourth down.
Yeah, both on the same drive.
So that's how you get to 11 minutes.
That's crazy.
Meanwhile, Miami's converting at 3 of 11 on third down.
And they didn't have one until the fourth quarter, I don't think, right?
It was such a strange game.
They didn't have a third down conversion until the fourth quarter.
So, I mean, it's just, I don't know. It's
that was the first game this year, though, which is kind of weird. Maybe the first Oregon game, but offensively, I didn't think Oregon was like scared me the way Miami did. Not scared, but like, you know what I mean. This was the kind of the first game this year, though, that felt like one of the Indiana games last year where they're like, oh, they're outmatched.
Yeah, so
like this felt like
Ohio. There were lots of little sneaky stats, right? The time of possession in the fourth. I think the average punt return for Indiana was like 16 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what it was per return for Miami?
Oh, not good.
5.8.
Yeah, not good.
You talk about a dog that won't hunt.
Well, especially with Tony back there.
I mean, it was just like
there are certain things Miami needed to go its way that just didn't.
Yeah. Was Miami the
Miami averaged 20 yards of return on a kickoff.
Yeah, that's not good. You're giving up. I mean,
wait,
what are we doing?
What are we doing?
Was Miami the best chance for a non-Indiana win?
Stylistically,
that's an interesting question.
Yeah,
on the lines probably. Like, I don't know that anybody else's defensive line was going to give Indiana that much trouble.
So the next, if that game was going to unfold the way it did, the next best matchup would have, for me, would have probably been Georgia.
Just because of the lines?
Yep.
Yeah.
And they're very comfortable playing it in a phone booth. They just don't need to be playing against explosives. But that secondary was so raggly down the stretch. But if we're just talking interior, at first blush, I'd say Georgia maybe.
It might have been Miami, though. I mean.
Yeah, I'm not going to.
Like, that's.
I definitely don't have my hands up ready to fight.
You think. I'm trying to think who else was really good on the lines this year. What do you think Texas Tech would have done versus Indiana as opposed to Oregon? Like, if
you're gonna laugh
if you switch those results,
you're gonna laugh. Indiana would have whooped Texas Tech's O-line.
Yeah,
too mistake prone.
Okay,
false starts. Indiana would have got after.
I was thinking more defensive line.
Ohio State, and I have Ohio State on the brain because Scurry said Ohio State. I don't think so.
No, I don't think Ohio State this year.
I don't think so. But that's a good question.
Yeah. I was thinking maybe Texas Tech.
I think at first blush I'd say Georgia.
Yeah, I thought maybe Texas Tech's defensive line could give them a little bit of trouble, but you're right. The offensive line's too.
And Georgia would commit to handing the ball off.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't disagree about Notre Dame either, Alex, but they're not in it.
We weren't given.
But I don't disagree with that.
We weren't given that opportunity.
Yeah, I don't know what Shane's doing, asking good questions.
I know that was a really
Shane,
good
you
question.
paying attention?
Why? What just happened?
Sounds about right.
Are we still talking Rascal Flats? I'm looking up tickets. They're 54, anywhere from 54 to $8.98.
A decimal point?
No, $898
a piece.
Who's paying that for Rascal Flats?
Well, you want floor seats, and that's a piece.
Listen, $900. I can take the rain on the roof in this empty house.
Sounds like you're signing up.
Bother me.
You want we get you a couple nosebleeds for 54. You want to go?
900?
That's crazy.
Huh? That's
crazy.
What's $54 get me, Shane?
Section 211, way in the upper.
I know. At Creighton. So
at CHI.
I'm well aware.
Oh, I know 211.
I'm well aware of where those 200s are.
Yeah, 211.
I've sat in 211. I've been in 221.
My season tickets were in 207.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was at the very front of I was in the front row, 207. They actually,
that ain't bad.
No, they were actually pretty good seats.
That's not bad at all.
Yeah,
because you can look down and see, and nothing's impeding your sight line.
It was actually a pretty good view.
Huh?
Like if you're trying to actually watch the basketball, it wasn't as good of an atmosphere as some of the lower ones, but it was actually a really good view of a basketball game.
Who cares about atmosphere?
Some people do.
Big train guy. That she's back in the atmosphere. Drops
for $8.98. You better be getting a lot of atmosphere.
I was waiting for a decimal point.
At
And it
898,
didn't come till after the second 8.
at 898, I want to do a solo.
Nah.
Yeah, you want me on? I want to get on stage for 898.
I get tired.
I'm tired. It did kind of feel like the way Cignetti, like the way the game plan was. It sort of felt like he knew Miami was more talented.
Hey, can I ask you a question? Do you think his facial expressions are a bit?
I think the ones during the game are now. Like I think after the one went viral a few weeks ago, I think he's doing that on purpose now. Because I mean, we've watched Indiana quite a bit. He wasn't doing that before.
Which is
Not to that degree.
Amazing, because
I don't worry about his authenticity at all.
No,
but
I think he's trolling people. I don't think it's.
He might be.
I think he's just trolling people.
He might be, because he's clearly a super high level thinker.
Yeah, and I think he's super self aware, and he's like, well, if you want this is what you get. He just does them.
Or
Looks like a confused beagle.
I want to know who's on the other end of his headset, because he says some funny things.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Like, whose idea was that? And I'm lip reading.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's a rhetorical question or he
really wants to know. Like,
he would know.
You would think.
Yeah.
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 Maybe he's trying to give somebody an opportunity to get off the hook here. Be like, hey, tell me somebody else had that idea, because you can't be that dumb.
Dude, is there any worse thing than when somebody says, hey, tell me more? You're like,
I'm good.
yeah. Feel free to interrupt anytime.
I don't have anything else to add.
It was Miami the best matchup? They clearly gave them the best game.
Yeah, they definitely. I thought 2-9
a carry.
I thought they had the hardest time with line of scrimmage wise with Miami. That was.
I'm telling you, the weird thing about Miami is any game they play, they could make the case they got the best offensive and defensive player on the field.
Yeah.
Every game they play.
At least 3 times this year, it just didn't matter.
It's wild.
I mean, I don't know what else to chalk it up to besides the Carson Beck and Mario Cristobal effect.
Well, I mean, they're not the ones always committing penalties, though.
No, but I mean, that's the Mario Cristobal. Like, if you're gonna say discipline and execution, like that's a head coach problem, right? You know, I get it's not all on Beck, although that was like the interception to end the game was like the most Carson Beck thing.
Can I give you another sneaky stat?
Yeah.
Net yards per kickoff.
Okay.
Indiana 63.
Okay.
Net yards per kickoff. Miami 44.
Oof.
I don't know. I mean,
that's 20 yards.
That's fine.
Per.
Yeah. Kick it 4 times.
Plus 10 per punt.
It just.
Right? 16-8 to 5 or 16-5.
Yeah.
Yeah. That adds up.
I mean, Miami had 6 tackles for losses. Indiana had 1.
Dude, that defensive line for Miami was giving them fits. Like it was
1.
You know what's funny here? I just looked this up for the first time. Do you know what the penalties were off the top of your head?
Miami was double digits.
Were they?
Oh, that's tough. Head PIs. Tell me.
7 for 60 for Miami.
Okay.
Which was less than I thought.
He said, did they?
5 for 38 for Indiana, which was more than I thought. The only penalty I remember from Indiana is the false start.
Although 3 penalties a game is going to be top 5 in the country.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah. And 38 is not a large number of yards.
I mean, I bet tops in the country is probably 2.8, 2.9 per.
I can look it up, see if we can find it.
I mean, I'm told, like, I think that's safe.
You want to get to Derek?
Yeah. Oh, is Derek going to take some more shots at me?
The GOAT, Derek from Alliance.
Oh, nice, the GOAT.
Well, you know.
So should we have Derek in our draft?
Oh, yeah, I think so. I know we mostly talk about the chat people, but the phone people count.
All right. We'll add him to the draft. Shane, punch him up.
He's here.
Derek, what's going on, bud?
Hey, I have some thoughts about the
It
draft.
doesn't sound like he's here.
Oh, Derek.
I do.
There he is.
Oh, there he is.
Fat
Hello?
finger Shane.
Hello?
What's up, Derek? How we doing?
Shane's Vienna sausage fingers were not working, Derek. We apologize.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, so I agree that the callers are a little bit underrepresented on the draft.
All right, buddy. I got you.
So I made my own team.
Okay.
We're picking a little bit from the other teams, so I don't know, but we'll take TK. Is Lance the same as Michigan Lance, or are those two different people?
So there's two different ones. There's Michigan Lance and there's Lance B. They both, when they call, are exceptionally long talkers, so you may get them confused.
Okay. Well, I think we'll take both of them.
Okay.
Two
Ooh.
Lances.
Are
Lance
you
a lot.
good with discipline, Derek? Because you're gonna have to be separating children.
Well, that's why we have MRI as our coach.
Oh, nice.
He's
Good pull.
Yeah. And then we're going to take Austin because we got to get some 308 here. But mostly we're looking for Dr. Fiance to be part of the team. So
Yeah, you need somebody to bankroll your NIL.
Wait a minute, Derek. What endearing qualities does Action Jackson have where you're thinking, you know what? I want that guy on my team. He will have your locker room in disarray intentionally.
It's mostly that for some reason Dr. Fiance said yes. That's the most enduring quality.
Fair. You know what? Fair.
Maybe he drugged her. No, she would know.
I was going to say, it's been too long for that.
Yeah. Derek, when you're watching that game, did you watch the game last night, D?
I watched the game, yeah.
Who'd you think was the better team?
Well, I think that that's the first time that it looked like Indiana was overmatched on the lines, on the at least D line. They were making plays that other teams weren't making,
and they couldn't really pressure back either.
No, only in certain situations when it looked like they confused the protection or something. But most of the time they were. Like it looked a little bit like watching a Nebraska game on the tackle sometimes, where it was just like
wow,
snap the ball and then the tackle he's just gone. He's past him already. But the difference was when Mendoza was able to throw those quick back shoulder throws because they can't throw a long developing play. Then it was a completion for 20 yards instead of incompletion. So I think that was a big part of it.
Go ahead, D.
I love Nowakowski. I think he's my favorite player for Indiana.
Really? Why? What? Talk to me. Tell me more.
I think that he unlocks a lot of their run game because he can. They put him essentially one-on-one with a D end.
And he wins a ton, doesn't he?
Yeah, and it lets the tackle either just do like a one-handed chip, and then he's over to Nowakowski, or they don't even they run this play where they did it against Ohio State. It didn't work as well against Miami, but they pull the tackle and guard on the left side around the tight end, and the tight end down blocks on the EN.
Yep.
And a lot of times he just ear holds him, and this one
he's always got a good natural angle too, because on the down block the defender's inside of him, right?
Yeah.
Good Is that how you watch? Is that how you watch football, Derek?
Oh, a little bit. I noticed that run scheme, so I was looking for more on that play. Nowakowski.
Even though you weren't very nice the last time, we could definitely hang out. Do you talk a lot during games, or are the kids like, Dad, come on? Like, or are you just watching it in peace?
I'm mostly watching it in peace. It depends, because I got other stuff to do. So a lot of times it's on record. So
okay.
So I'm a little behind but I get most of it done after the kids go to bed.
All right, buddy. Good call. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
That was
good. Talking run scheme.
That was a good call on Nowakowski. I will say it seemed like yesterday he was much less successful taking on those DNs
He had his
one-on-one,
hands full.
which totally understandable. Between Messidor and Bane, like that's
for me.
Yeah,
you could make the case Messidor has a bigger skill set.
I wouldn't disagree. I think Bane's more explosive than everyone. But
have you ever seen him without his helmet on?
Yeah, he doesn't.
He looks like he's 45 years old.
Yeah, the face does not match the.
He looks like a 45-year-old dude that is like getting ready to.
He looks like he's the like grizzled police captain in a buddy cop movie.
Carl Winslow.
Yeah, where he's just like, you can't keep.
Are you calling him Carl Winslow?
You can't keep doing this to me, guys.
Did I do that?
No, that's Urkel.
Steve.
He looks like he's just. You come into his office and he's like, I need your badge and your gun.
Huh? Yeah,
he looks like
he's old.
He kind of gives me. He kind of gives me Cam Lenhart vibes. Cam Lenhart has cop face too.
Cam Lenhart, I agree. Looks like he is 40 years old.
Yeah, he looks like grown man. I've got a mortgage and a 401k, and I can't deal with all these union problems. That's what Cam Lenhart looks like.
Oh,
and Ruben Bain looks like his boss.
Oh, it's a fascinating game, boy.
Yeah, it was could have used a couple more points, but we're all right. All right. We'll be okay.
So that's 120.
Yeah, you're at 120 now.
Nice. One more.
That's all right. What are you trying to get to?
I don't know. Probably 180.
180?
Yeah, because that'll include the tip.
You think you can get the whole family done on 180?
Yeah.
Depends on where you go.
Well, believe me, wheels are turning. Proud Mary.
Oh, big wheels keep on turning.
Yeah, always.
That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla. We will be right back. We're going to talk some more here on Hurrdat Sports Live.
I just didn't feel he was playing that well. It was a tough matchup. They were playing five guards, with the way they play 5 out. And, it just, I don't know. Be probably a good question for him. But we're going to stick with him and obviously hopefully get him ready to play on Wednesday night. Just wasn't his night tonight, and was just trying to find a group out there that was going to be able to put the fight out that we needed to try to get back in the game.
I mean, I think as an athlete and a competitor, you get in certain situations and environments and you just feel it. You get juiced. You turn it up. I mean, that last set in set 5, she hit a ball that she was so early on. They called the timeout and she came off. I'm like, hey, she literally just jumped higher and hung in the air because she was so early. She had to wait. And that's the type of things that athletes at this level, they do that when they get in these situations. And it's cool that she's on our team. I'm on this side of it now because I've obviously been coaching against her since she was at Kentucky. But it's been very cool to get to know her on a different level because as a competitor, I honestly I didn't know how I would like coaching her, and it's been awesome. I think it's one of those things, even working with Kayla and Bo, it's you don't know until you're in it. And it's this is easy, this is fun, this is so natural. And that's how I feel with Leah.
Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
First down and 10 at the 15-yard line. Darnold turns, gives to Walker, hole on the left side of the 10. Walker, a burst to the 5, and tumbles across the goal line for a Seattle touchdown. 15-yard burst for Kenneth Walker III, and the road is on in the Pacific Northwest. It's 33-6 Seattle.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Next Gen Male Medical. That's DB. I'm Ravi, Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. We are joined now by Kevin Kugler, who calls everything, as you could just hear with that game that I don't remember happening at all. I'm just going to ignore that it happened. I don't think it happened.
Did you turn it off?
No, I watched all of it, all 41-6 of it, just like Kevin did. Kevin, how are we doing this morning?
I turned it off, Ravi, midway through the third. After that call, I figured I could catch a flight, maybe start my way back home. So that's what I did. I heard that they didn't rally, but then I went home and I'm like, let me watch the Steelers playoff game. And so then I watched that, and then I felt good. I felt a lot better after that. Wow. So there we go. Good morning. How's everybody doing? We feeling good?
Less good now.
Yeah.
I mean, you didn't even need a semi-automatic. You just used a handgun and got them all.
Wow. Well, I mean, the nice thing is that after this year, after the Dodgers have once again ruined Major League Baseball and bought themselves into another championship, we won't have to worry about baseball for a couple of years. We can all blame the Dodgers for that. We can. And we can move on. But
you know how excited I was to talk to you, and now I'm trying to figure out, why do I do this to myself?
I don't know either. When Shane texted like, we'd love to have you on Tuesday, and I'm like, really?
So listen, full disclosure, not to like say anything nice now, but I knew when you said, hey, I'll talk to you in a month. Shane was like, hey, it's been about a month. Can we grab Kevin? And I was like, yes. And then
how exciting is that for Damon and Ravi? I mean, wow.
Then you do this. Can I ask you something real quick? Because with that call.
Well, I mean, I'm on your radio show, so I think you can ask me whatever you'd like.
I still think you have this weird way of subliminally controlling me, so I always ask permission still. I really, 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 really like Kenneth Walker's running style.
I knew you would. He is your kind of back, isn't he?
So so go, because it's better coming from you. Why do you think? You think he fits my eye?
Well, I think he fits your eye because he runs low. Yeah. He runs with some power, but he has a little bit of burst. He's got a shake in the hole I think you would like, because he is not just He's not just a bowling ball runner where you get into the hole and try to knock people down and you then go down. He gets into the hole and it's subtle. It's not like he's not Saquon Barkley making jump cuts and sticking the cleat in and plowing the other direction. He is a subtle kind of a gliding mover. And I think he had one of the sneaky best seasons of a running back in this league.
I think he's so good when he's healthy. I love watching. It's going
to be interesting to see this week without Charbonnet, because I do think Zach Charbonnet, the touchdown vulture that he was, I think he had 12 rushing touchdowns this year. K-Dub would do all the work, and he'd get down there and score the touchdown.
It's like Varsity
I'm sure
Blues.
Fantasy people love that. Yeah, exactly, like Varsity Blues. So he went down there and scored, but he's out now, obviously, and he's going to be out for most of next year. But this was a big year for Kenneth Walker. It was the final year of his rookie deal, and you know how it is with running backs. You never know if you get that second deal. I thought this was his best season, including his rookie year where he burst on the scene, had 1,000 yards, was really good in several games. I thought this was a consistently good year for him, and that's the difference with Seattle. They figured out how to run the football again the last 4 weeks, and that's been all the difference for them. They couldn't run the ball hardly at all the first 15 weeks of the season. And then it's like they said, oh, you know what? This would probably help Sam Darnold if we'd run it more. And so they ran it more, and they've been really good doing it.
Is home field advantage back in Seattle?
I think it is. I know that has not been the case this year. They've actually been a better road team than home team,
Correct.
Which is weird. But I do feel like Saturday night was that feeling again that you get in Seattle when that place is good. It's as good as there is in the league. I mean,
it's a beautiful stadium too.
Oh, it's a great setting. It's loud. It cascades down on you. And look, there's always something there. It's a beautiful stadium, but it's maybe a little damp, or it's a little chilly, or it's a little this, or it's a little that. And because, the time zone is different, but the times are set, it's a little different kickoff time in the playoffs. And I know that, what does that really matter? Well, you get used to kicking off at a certain time every single week when you're playing this game, especially when you're playing on a Sunday. It's either the 4 Eastern window or the 1 Eastern window if it's a Sunday, or it's a primetime game. This is sort of that weird in-between kickoff. It's a 3:30 kick. I know it's not that big a difference, but you don't kick a lot at 3:30 on the West Coast. So it's I don't know, there's always a little something about Seattle that makes it feel a little bit different.
When you're watching that game against the 49ers, and then we can move on to a game that wasn't decided by 5 touchdowns.
Yeah.
I was having a hard time telling how much of that was, hey, Seattle's just better this year versus the 49ers have a lot of practice squad guys playing today. Like, were you able to kind of discern that at all, or did you even bother trying?
No, I don't really bother to do much of anything that's outside of what I need to do, which is say touchdown. But when you look at that 49ers team, and we had them a lot this year, look, the job Kyle Shanahan did to get them to that point, to get them through a playoff game and win a game on the road against the Eagles with that roster, that's pretty impressive. Yeah. I mean, the job he did this year is one of the best jobs I've seen, because every week they had, and it wasn't just like, oh man, we lost our third string corner again. It's like, oh, we lost Fred Warner. Oh, we lost Nick Bosa. Oh, we lost George Kittle more than one time. We lost our starting quarterback for 8 games. And then in the middle of that, everybody's like, how about we just stay with Mac Jones? He's playing great. And you're like, come on, man, look what Brock Purdy does for you. No, I felt like it was a team that ran out of gas. They just got to the point where it's like, we have kept climbing this hill over and over and over again. They ran into a really good football team. Seattle is outstanding in multiple areas, and it's just hard to overcome that when you don't have the weapons that you need to overcome it. And there was a reason they floated the Fred Warner thing out this past week, because they knew he wasn't going to play, but they were trying to provide, this is my opinion, they were trying to provide a little bit of hope. Like, look, guys, hang in there one more week. They could see it. And they're like, Fred might be back. He's back on the practice field. He wasn't going to come back last week, but they opened his window. They put him on the practice field just to provide guys a little lift, and it just wasn't enough.
Let me ask you something. At this, when you're at all these games and you're kind of watching these guys, and I want to go to New England and Denver because it's such fascinating head coaching matchup. At what point do you think you had a feel for what Vrabel was capable of as a head coach?
When he was in Tennessee, I mean, you could see it. You knew it there. He just didn't have the personnel around him to get that done. But when he was there was a style and a calmness with him. But he was still young enough and appreciated and respected enough to draw that out of his players. They just didn't have the people there. But I can remember sitting in a room meeting with him early in his tenure in Tennessee and thinking, oh, this dude gets it. And I knew him a little bit from his time at the Texans.
So he's
when
engaging?
I was doing their preseason games. Oh, he is. He's very engaging in person. It's not Belichick. I mean, there is a Belichickian way to how he does some things, but he's an interesting and engaging guy. Here's what I'm sure I've said this to you before because I appreciate this from a lot of coaches. If I asked you a direct question and you give me a direct answer, I'm good with that. We're not going to be buddies most likely because I'm in and out. So it's not like I'm going to sit down and ask somebody a question. They're going to go, you know what? That's the best question I've ever heard from anybody in my life. Please come to my house, watch my children, take care of my dog. I will adopt you. None of that is something that's going to happen. And but if I ask a coach a question, it's a question that because I only ask 2 or 3 questions in these meetings. Analysts are the drivers of these production meetings. So if I ask a coach a question, it's because it's something I need to know, like a personnel question for my charts or something that I've come across in reading and I want a little clarification on. I am not trying to stir up, this will shock you, I'm not trying to stir up anything. It's very different from radio interviews, but I just need information. And he was one of those guys who would give, Kyle Shanahan's another, you ask a direct question, he will give you a direct answer. I so appreciate that. I have not always had that experience, Bob Diaco, in my life. And so it's been difficult at times to deal with coaches who don't answer direct questions with direct answers. Vrabel's one of those guys that does.
Okay, so I'm kind of fascinated about this matchup a little bit, and DB kind of got to the Vrabel side of the coaching matchup, but I kind of, this will surprise you, Kevin. I'm kind of sarcastic about the Sean Payton prowess sometimes because it's been that Super Bowl's a long time ago now, right?
Yep.
How much, like, when you're sort of getting ready for these games and looking at coaching matchups and whatever, like, I'm sure you've looked at the Sean Payton thing before. How much of his recent prowess do you think goes into how we view him versus this? Oh, but he won that one Super Bowl that one time.
He seems like a tough.
Well, and I will say, Ravi, I mean, I know we're going to dismiss that a little bit, but it was with the Saints. So
Fair.
I mean,
fair.
It's
like winning a national championship with Indiana.
Glad Severe could finally catch a scud.
Yeah,
nice.
I mean, no, I'm saying, and he would be the first to tell you, the Saints traditionally, and this if for our younger audience, the Saints used to stink and stink on ice. I mean, they were terrible. And Michael Severe would be the first one to say, yes, the Saints stunk. I mean, he sold the bags outside the stadium, for crying out loud, that people were putting over their faces. So he knew they stunk. So it's not a surprise. And Sean Payton won a Super Bowl with a franchise that used to wear sacks on their head. I mean, it'd be akin to Nebraska winning a national championship in football. But I digress.
Wow.
I digress.
Wow.
Here I was thinking he was going to say basketball.
I did too.
Nice curveball, Cougs.
But what he's done in Denver is different, because this is the first time, and we actually had a conversation with him about this a few weeks ago when we did the Jaguars game. This is the first time he's ever had a quarterback that he drafted that he has had to bring along. You remember Drew Brees, when he got there, had been there several years, had the shoulder injury, thought he was
kind of fell
Miami,
into their laps with
fell into their lap. Yeah, he failed the physical with Miami, and so they were like, okay, here you are. And so he had a guy with experience. He's never had that young guy, and I think it's changed how he's approached his quarterback coaching, because he's had to adjust some of the stuff that he did to Bo Nix, and now he's going to have to do this on a fly with Jarrett Stidham this week, which is a whole different conversation. But he's had to change everything he's done from a quarterback approach, because he's been dealing with, albeit a mature quarterback, a quarterback that doesn't have the base of experience that Drew Brees did when he got there to the Saints. So it's been a different test of his coaching acumen, and he's had to flex different coaching muscles, but it's been an interesting thing to see, and I think it's worked. I really think what he's done in Denver has underlined how good a coach he is. I don't think you have to look at what he did with the Saints. I think you can look at what he's done with Denver and go, wow, he's built this thing. He's built it well. He's built it quick. He has a great defensive coordinator who's done a lot of good work to help that along. But what he's done with Bo Nix has been really cool, and it's been fun to see that development over the year.
Let me ask you something, and I get it. Stafford has, they played in Philly in the snow last year. He survived the Chicago game. They're very familiar with Seattle. But of where these games are played this weekend, who does it matter to the most?
As far as the fan base or the team?
The venue.
What venue makes the biggest difference in this game? Yeah, I do still think that it's Seattle that makes the biggest difference, although I know the altitude.
It's so overrated in one day.
Sean Payton told us, he said, if you either, for the altitude games, he said that our approach when we'd come here, when I wasn't coaching here, was you either come 10 days early, which you cannot do, obviously. He goes, or you come as late as possible, because then it just isn't making that big of an impact. And so he goes, it makes an impact because, that's what you have to say when you coach and live in Denver. But I really do think the Seattle venue is different. Now, I will say some of the familiarity, in my opinion, that the opponent has with each other in that game maybe mitigates a little bit of that, because the Rams and Seahawks know each other so well. And the Rams know they can move the football on the Seahawks defense. They did it just a few weeks ago. So I think there is a little bit of the familiarity, not to mention you're not changing time zones at all. That really does benefit the Rams on the road a little bit in this game, because they don't have to worry as much about, oh gosh, we just changed 3 time zones. We just did this. We just did that. We have altitude. We have this crowd. They're just going up the coast a couple hours.
Stafford's experience, you're looking at, can you drum this down to quarterback play? Because one is so much different than the others.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's significantly different. I mean, this is an interesting matchup. Rams Seattle from a quarterback standpoint. Although Sam Darnold, to his credit, played through what I would guess was a pretty significant oblique last week, and I think they kind of covered it up a little bit more than maybe covered the severity, because if you watch that game, he didn't exactly air that ball out on Saturday. He turned and handed it off a lot. I think he completed 12 passes, if I remember. Now he didn't have to complete many, because Ravi, I don't know if you noticed, but the game was over pretty much midway through the third quarter. He didn't have to do much. So it was a good game for him to have an oblique. But I mean, the way Stafford's playing football right now, it's just, gosh, it's really pretty to watch. I mean, you have the 2 quarterbacks that are going to be the MVP playing for a championship, one on each side, Drake May, Matthew Stafford. Those are the 2 guys that are likely going to be, one of them the MVP, and probably you could make a great case for each of them to be the MVP. But my gosh, you have the MVP possibility against Sam Darnold, who has won 14 games in the regular season in each of the last 2 years, and Jarrett Stidham, who has an attractive young lady that he posts a lot of things with on the social media world. And that's what you're looking at, right?
And 1 career win ever.
1 career, and hasn't thrown a pass in a competitive game since 2023, which, I mean, my gosh, 2023 Indiana was bad at football in 2023. That's how far we've come since Jarrett Stidham threw a competitive pass.
And Nebraska wasn't a top 10 basketball team.
This dude is on a heat.
Exactly.
Before we get to hoops, I want to ask you a question. I need you to settle a debate from our group chat here. So, we were talking about which throw was better. The Caleb Williams 4th down to Kmet, obviously sprinting backwards on a dime from about 40 yards out, or on the next series, the Stafford dot to Devontae Adams on the sideline, thrown to basically a Post-it note where nobody else could touch that thing. If you have to pick one, which throw is better?
What am I counting on? Am I counting on the just pure arm strength? What's my
degree of difficulty?
Here?
Yeah, degree of difficulty of the throw. Yeah.
Degree of difficulty, man, the Devontae Adams pass was really, I mean, that's like hitting inside the bullseye of a bullseye on a dart parlor from double the distance back. I mean, that is you are fitting that in. But I will say the difficulty of, I mean, look, the fact that the ball floated right to Kmet in the corner of the end zone from the way he threw it, I still put Caleb Williams' pass ahead a little bit, because that was one of the, I am not big into the whole I'm going to just post random exclamations on social media, because I figure 5 years from now I'll look back and I'll go, why did I just post "oh my" that day? That's really stupid. But that was one that forced you to do it, because it was just the most ridiculous play. I mean, there was no reason that ball, A, should have been thrown, B, should have been enough velocity on it to get there, and C, to float in on target where it needed to go. So to me, as good a throw as Stafford had, and that was an outstanding pass, to me, Caleb Williams' throw, stakes, everything else, pressure in his face, total arm strength. I mean, 10 years from now, he can't make that throw probably, because he'll be older and his arm won't be quite what it is as a young man. But man, oh man, he's got such a bright future. I can't wait to see what he and Ben Johnson do together over the years.
K2, I want to transition to college hoops just because you do a ton. And listen, one of the cool things, you've seen a ton just because you've done so much, but we see football with college football playoffs, and the Big Ten is one, they're representing the last three, and seems to be like this conference shift. You look at the basketball power rankings, and, whether it's Michigan or Purdue or Nebraska or Illinois or Michigan State, we've always kind of liked the Big Ten, but we're like, golly, man, Michigan State, that was a long time ago. Do you think you'd get to the point of your career where we would be talking about the Big Ten and 2 of the 4 major sports?
No, I didn't. And credit to the Big Ten, because remember, 5 years ago, the SEC was running college football. The Big Ten was obsolete. There was no way the Big Ten was going to be able to compete with the powerful SEC in college football. And now the Big Ten has the last 3 college football champions with 3 different schools, which I think is the point that people need to really underline. It's not just Ohio State winning 3 straight. 3 different schools winning 3 championships in football in the Big Ten, and one of them's Indiana, which, again, I get the audience that I'm talking to, and I know so many of you are frustrated by the Indiana championship for a variety of reasons, and believe me, I get it. But it is a credit to the Big Ten. And then basketball, it's always been, over the years, a league that loves football but thrives in basketball, except on the biggest stage. They've not been able to break through that ceiling for a long time. This feels like the year where they might be able to, just by sheer overwhelming people with good, talented teams. I mean, there are those 5 teams you mentioned are 5 legit top 2 seeds in a bracket in the NCAA tournament. I have the Nebraska game tomorrow night, and they're good, and I'm so tired of reading the articles from people going, well, this team's poised to fall apart because look how tough the schedule is. Look what they've done now. Nobody would be saying this if the name on the team was North Carolina as opposed to Nebraska on the resume. So I'm tired of hearing that. My wife is very frustrated with the North Carolina Tar Heels right now.
Me too.
And she said they shouldn't even be ranked. I said, well, they're 22nd. She goes, well, they're terrible.
And they lost to Stanford and Cal in back-to-back games. What are we doing?
Oh, I'm well aware.
Those ACC powers. Although Okoro is pretty sweet though at Stanford.
Yeah, but I mean, it's Stanford and Cal. What are we talking about?
Classic ACC rivalries, Well,
I mean, that's when you get Cal and Virginia Tech together to throw out all the record books. Because I don't think there actually are any records.
There are no record books to throw out.
But this is the week. This is the start of the separation week over the next few weeks in the Big Ten Conference, because you have Nebraska-Washington tomorrow night, and while Washington is not a power, Washington does have some talent. And if Wesley Yates is able to continue to find his way back from health, he's a problem. Steinbach's a problem. They have some players.
Diallo's a problem.
Diallo's a problem. They have players. So don't sleep on that Washington team tomorrow night, Nebraska fans. They're capable of beating you. They are. I'm not saying they're going to. I'm saying they're capable of it. And I know Fred Hoiberg and Coach Lenzer and all the guys down there are well aware of that, believe me. And then Saturday, I have Purdue hosting the Illini at Mackey on Saturday afternoon, which I think is just a phenomenal matchup. But again, that's the start of the separation, because everybody's going to start playing each other now over these next few weeks. We've all seen Nebraska's schedule coming up, and it is challenging, but you're going to go and have to play. Everybody's going to have to play some of these games now, and this is where we're really going to start to see who starts to separate themselves in this league. This is the next best part right now. You get college football done, and now you really get to dial in on basketball, and there's some really good games to dial in on this week.
I'm already falling on the sword before you slit my throat with this next comment. I'm just going to go ahead and get this out here that 3 out of the last 4 years, I've been like honking for Illinois in the tournament. I'm the old lookout, and they're talented, and blah, blah, blah. Would you talk me off of that this year, or would you be like, go ahead and bleed out?
No. Well, I mean, I might want you to bleed out, but that's for different reasons. No, I'm kidding. I love Damon Benning. I don't want him to bleed out. I would staunch the bleeding if it were happening. I would staunch it, and then I would take him to a hospital, and I would nurse him back to health, tied to a bed like a movie, and it'd be great. But anyway, I do believe in Illinois. I believe their size is going to be a problem, and their lack of positional awareness is a problem. If that's not the right way to put it, but this is a positionless basketball team. They have a lot of big guys who play a lot of different roles. They have big guys who can bring the ball up. They have big guys who can play in the post, but they play at a very European style because half of this team is from the Balkans. So that's a very European style. And I think it's a style that fits Brad Underwood. They're defending a little bit better. They're not great defensively, but the whole key to this balkanized team is a freshman that was off everybody's radar in Keaton Wagler. This kid is phenomenal. He is smart. He can shoot it. He can handle it. His growth, if you haven't watched him or Illinois since they played Nebraska in the early portion of the season, you should watch again. The steps he's taken, ooh, man, they are so fun to watch. That's going to be a really interesting game against Purdue because they're going to pull Purdue's big guys out on the perimeter a little bit more than maybe Trey Kaufman-Renn and Jacobson want to play. And then you've got Braden Smith who's going to be able to weave around some of those bigger guys. This is fun on Saturday. That's one to kind of bookmark for your weekend plans. It's a 2:00 game on Fox on Saturday. Shameless plug. And I think it's one worth watching if you like Big Ten basketball.
Last couple of minutes here, Kevin. Let me go. Do you believe in Iowa?
You know what? I believe in their style. I don't know if they have enough
Indiana
forces.
was impressive. That got my eye.
That's a good win. And look, D-Rock's got some ups and downs that he's going through right now with Indiana. The good news is they're a football school, so they're probably not even going to really pay attention to the struggles in the first year. I say this half kidding and half not. Of all of the first-year coaches that Indiana has had over the last decade and a half, he's got the easiest road because the pressure is not quite the same through the first few months of the season while they try to figure each other out. I mean, you had football, and football captivated that entire community. And now they're going to start dialing in on basketball. So for Indiana, they're hoping to get it going. But that was a good win. And Iowa had been struggling a little bit. The question that I'm going to have with Iowa as the season goes on is when people figure out how to slow down Bennett Sturtz, who else is the guy do you lean on? Is it Tavion Banks? Is it Cam Manyow inside? Do you have enough offensive weapons for a team that doesn't necessarily need a lot because of the style they play? It's a slow style. It's a deliberate offense, 63 possessions per 40 minutes, which is the second lowest in all major conference basketball. So they're grinding you out, and they're trying to make you impatient, and they're going to play a deliberate style. They have a lot of points off the bench, but it's from a variety of different players who chip in 5, 6, and 7. If you don't get Sturtz going, do you have enough to win with that style? In some games, absolutely you do. They play Rutgers tonight. That's going to be a problem for Rutgers because Rutgers really struggles to score, and Iowa really makes it hard
coming off
to
of
score.
Maryland. Yeesh.
Yeah.
I ain't quite just scored again.
Yeah, oh my gosh. I mean, Rutgers has had issues, and I had them a week and a half ago at Illinois, and Illinois ended the first half on a 20-0 run, and it was 43-17 at halftime. So we talked a lot of knitting and various forms of cooking in the second half because there wasn't much else to talk about. But they've got a couple of players who can maybe cause some problems. I just think the style Iowa plays is a very different style than you're going to see from most teams, and it's going to take a little time to adjust to that style. You know, it's the old adage, can you speed a team up or can you slow a team down, and what's easier to do? Well, Iowa and Ben McCollum's had a lot of success slowing teams down over the years, and there's no reason to think that can't work at Iowa. It's just so different to see. You know, Fran McCaffrey's teams would just be like, hurry, get the ball in the net so we can run down and score again. And this is completely the opposite. This is just a deliberate, grind it out. We're going to force turnovers. We're going to play slow. We're going to get, a good shot, and then we're going to move on. So I'm anxious to see as they develop. It's again sort of the Indiana style of football. He brought over a lot of guys he had that know his system and then can immediately start to teach his culture to everybody else.
That is Kevin Kugler. Kevin, appreciate the time as always, although it's a little more hostile today than maybe normal.
There's no hostility. There's nothing but love. Nothing but love. The Niners have a bright future ahead, and the Steelers are looking for a coach. And
I think Flores he's in town today, but I think McCarthy's tomorrow. So
DB's
McCarthy
really pulling
sounds
for
like
McCarthy.
he's the front. He might be the front runner, and then you and Aaron Rodgers could be the guy who'd come back for one more year for a reunion with his coach, and you could resurrect the 90s and 2000s Packers with the Steelers. You're excited about this.
You love making fun of me, so I'm going to give you one
I
more
just-
easy.
this
One
is
more
no making
easy.
fun of. I'm
going to give you one more
bolstering
easy
the
one.
Steelers. Go Steelers.
Do you know what I'm kind of hoping for, given the quarterback market? This is
Oh,
how bad it is, K2. I'm like hoping somehow Kyler Murray can get to Pittsburgh. He laughs.
I'm laughing at the notion of somehow could get there. If you'd call Arizona up and make an offer, I bet you could figure out a way to get it done.
Well,
I mean, I think the phone is working down there, so you can get that done.
Wow.
Kevin, just be glad that you don't have to pay $60 million a year for Kyle Tucker.
No, exactly. Well,
first
you know what?
half Cubs, Kyle Tucker was pretty good.
They won't have to pay that in 2027 or 2028 because the Dodgers' greed and overusage of the system will have shut down the sport that we know. So in 2027, we can all just sit around and play simulated baseball games on the computer. It'll be a lot more fun anyway. I can call Damon and go, "Oh, Damon, good news. My computer, Kyle Tucker, just sprained his hammy again. He's out for another month. Dodgers are 40 below 500, buddy."
Oh, Adrian, yeah.
It'll be great. It'll be like during COVID when everybody was watching the KBO.
It will be. It'll be the Rakuten Monkeys. Except maybe that's what we'll do again. We'll get a KBO league going, and you guys can have a whole crowd at the Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill watching Korean baseball at 5 a.m. This is the future, and we can all thank Damon as we're sitting there watching the Rakuten Monkeys going, "What are we doing, Damon? Why are we doing this? I already watched the Rakuten Monkeys. I don't want to do it again."
That is the one and only Kevin Kugler. Wow. We appreciate it.
You
always,
outdid
man.
yourself, K2. Well done.
All right, and go Monkeys. I'll see you later.
Coming up next, we're going to talk to Dan Jackson, the head football coach of South Dakota State.
By your request.
By my request. I need to talk.
He said, get Dan Jackson.
I said, I want to talk to Dan Jackson.
Well, asking you shall
We
receive.
got some. I want to talk about FCS in the portal.
He's got a lot.
I want to talk about philosophically what it's like to be coaching at the FCS level.
Easy guy to cheer for.
I want to talk about going to a place with expectations versus places that don't have expectations.
Ask him about going to work for Eck and then all of a sudden a month later being in Brookings.
See ya. And I want to talk about my guy, Anthony Rizak.
Let's get it.
We'll get Dan Jackson coming up next.
I just didn't feel he was playing that well. It was a tough matchup. They were playing 5 guards, with the way they play 5 out. And, it just, I don't know. Be probably a good question for him. But we're going to stick with him and obviously hopefully get him ready to play on Wednesday night. Just wasn't his night tonight. And, was just trying to find a group out there that was going to be able to put the fight out that we needed to try to get back in the game.
I mean, I think as an athlete and a competitor, you get in certain situations and environments and you just feel it. You get juiced. You turn it up. I mean, that last set in set 5, she hit a ball that she was so early on. They called the timeout and she came off. I'm like, hey, she literally just jumped higher and hung in the air because she was so early. She had to wait. And that's the type of things that athletes at this level, they do that when they get in these situations. And it's cool that she's on our team. I'm on this side of it now because I've obviously been coaching against her since she was at Kentucky. But it's been very cool to get to know her on a different level because as a competitor, I honestly I didn't know how I would like coaching her, and it's been awesome. I think it's one of those things, even working with Kayla and Bo, it's you don't know until you're in it. And it's this is easy, this is fun, this is so natural. And that's how I feel with Leah.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
We're back here on Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. We are joined now by Dan Jackson, the head football coach at South Dakota State. Coach, how we doing this morning?
I'm doing really well. I didn't know you guys had superstar Shane over there at Hurrdat with you, so I was fired up when he made the call. We go way back.
Listen,
so.
you've known me for over 15 years. You know I'm not going anywhere without Shane.
No, man, the loyal ones, keep them close.
You already know. By the way, how about this? And this is fresh off the heels of talking your ear off the other day. This was not my decision. Ravi said yesterday, he goes, I want to talk to Dan Jackson. Can we get Coach Jackson? And I said,
let's go, Ravi.
I
may
said,
have to do a couple of these to get through all the topics I could talk to you guys
That's
about.
what I'm saying. I was like, where are we going to start? And this was not DB. This dude just rattled off like 7 things he wants to talk to Coach Jackson about.
Well, there's a lot to get into, Coach. So I'm fascinated because we've been talking a lot, obviously transfer portal, stuff like that around here, and we're trying to figure out for all of the negatives and things that it can carry for, guys that get stuck in the portal and guys getting bad advice from certain people. At some point, that's going to benefit one ecosystem in college football. And I think potentially one of those might be at the FCS level where you guys are. So I've been really curious what it's been like for you to navigate the portal as a team in the FCS level where I would imagine you have access to certain types of players that maybe you've never had access to before. Is that accurate?
Yeah, I think the transfer portal can be a positive for anybody that views it as a positive, and it's going to be a negative for anybody that takes that type of approach. I mean, for us, regardless whether it's South Dakota State or anywhere, the things that I think are critical in the portal is first you got to earn the trust of your current team and players. And when you have their trust and belief and they know that you love them, then they communicate with you. And when they communicate with you, you have the ability to help navigate the new world of college football, and they're going to listen to you. No different than if you were raising a teenager, right? You want a teenager that's going to trust you as a parent and come to you when they need something. It's the same thing as a coach. And so, the transfer portal starts for me with just retaining your team. And we're going to have some of the best players in the country that everybody wants. I think that's awesome, but we can develop a culture and communicate and help them navigate so they don't get caught up in things that aren't real or things that can hurt them and harm them. And then you also have to give them the truth when sometimes if it makes sense for them to transfer, if it makes sense, you got to walk them through. Each person has their own individual things in their life, no different than helping Andrew Marshall get his way to Lincoln last year. I'm going to tell them the exact truth on what I think is best for them as a human being. And then when you do that, you're able to retain your team. But for us, I would say, to not go too long on it, the unique things for FCS level is Division II players can go into the portal when their season ends, which is great. And then in December, we are not in a dead period like the FBS. So the best players in Division II go into the portal. We have a month to recruit them and trip them and get them. They're smart enough to not want to wait till the January chaos, so you can get a lot of those guys locked in. And then in January, you could be selective. And I'm only going to take Power 4 kids that I know, at the end of the day. If I have a relationship with them and I believe in them, I'll take them. So that's our approach.
It's amazing, too, because you threw me for a loop when you mentioned Andrew Marshall, because I'm going to ask you something else here if Ravi will give me the floor to ask back-to-back questions. I'm very selfish and defensive of you and saying that's my guy, but Ravi was the one that has 1,000 questions. So I'm going to ask 2 in a row here. You mentioned guys like Andrew Marshall. You spent time at Idaho. You did what you had to do at UNI. You spent time at Vandy. There's lots of takeaways and stops of coaches you met. We were talking about Kalen DeBoer and your ability to just, I was talking to Coach DeBoer and he said, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the things that he's capable of given your journey of development as a head coach. You've been a ton of places with a lot of good people. When you're looking at guys, did you ever think you'd be in a position where the Andrew Marshalls, or most recently, you and I were talking about McDougal, right? He's a huge Dan Jackson fan, and one of the first calls that he broke off was to Coach Jackson about his plight. Do you like the duality of letting guys know what's best for them in removing yourself from the equation? Because it'd be easy to be selfish if you're not self-aware.
No, I agree with you. I think that, when you're dealing with people, whether it's your assistant coaches or players, you got to look at it from their lens, and you have to remove yourself from a decision, that they're making, and understand and hear them out on where they're coming from. And, these days there's I'm really protective of our players, and they know that, but it isn't because I just want to win the national championship here, or because I'm going to blindly tell them that this is the best option for them all of the time. I'm going to evaluate their situation. I'm going to hear them out and listen to them. A kiss of death for some coaches is to just tell their players that the transfer portal is evil all of the time, and that you're stupid for looking at it, or why are you coming to me with this, or seeming irritated when they come to you, and they'll never come to you again if that's how you operate. And so Andrew came to me, and he had options, and we're in the middle of the playoffs, and it's like, hey buddy, let me help you navigate this. You don't need an agent. Like, I promise you, let me just send your tape to the Kalen DeVores and Matt Rules and whoever in the world, and just let's see what they think, and it was clear that he was going to be a coveted guy, and from there it was just then helping him. I knew he wasn't going to go to New Mexico with us, nor did I believe in my heart that it was the right thing for him and his life and his family and his goals. And so then set a course and try to help him out. Dwayne was an unbelievable player for us, McDougal in person, and he and I were really close. He's a very passionate, emotional type of player, and so you got to build a relationship with him if you want him to have success out there. And so we got close, and I love staying in contact with guys once I'm done coaching them as well. I'm going to come down in Nebraska and recruit at the end of next week, and I'll ask Coach Rule's permission, but I may need to take Andrew to lunch and just catch up with him. So treat people the right way, and give them good, honest advice. And I think what you'll find is more often than not, they'll stick with you because they are afraid of losing that. Besides the financial value, what is the value of having a coach that you love, that loves you, that you can walk into his office whenever and get the truth told to you? And I think the more you tell people the truth and care about them, they'll see, they'll turn down. We got guys staying here for pennies on the dollar because of things beyond money.
Impressive. I was obviously with because I think I was talking to you real time, Coach Rule, on Friday, and he has a ton of respect for you. So I think anything you ask him, he's gonna be all in. I got a chance to kill a couple of birds with one stone, being at Lincoln Lutheran watching Ashland Greenwood. You mentioned being up here to recruit. You have, wherever you've been, you kind of have this thing where even I would like, hey man, go spend as much time around Coach Jackson as you can. It doesn't matter. You just have that kind of impact. Has it changed for you between you and I and Vandy, and you were at SDSU with Stig before when it was his program, to Idaho, to spending time with Eck briefly in New Mexico? Like, has your eye changed, or is there still the same non-negotiables when you're recruiting?
No, it's stayed pretty consistent. I've learned from some really good coaches, and was really fortunate to just see how everybody else operated. But within my own recruiting, I always try to operate the same. So the evaluation piece right now is so critical. And I think you can find that though everybody talks about a lot of money and involved in recruiting, and the people with the most money get the best players, I don't really believe that. I think you can be a poor evaluator. I mean, just because you offer somebody $1 million doesn't mean that they're a good player. I mean, they're just $1 million average player.
Thank you.
So
say that again, DJ.
Just because you pay somebody $1 million doesn't make them worth $1 million. So I know.
Go DJ.
Yeah, I love confidently finding and identifying. Our fan base is on me a little bit because we were taking all these D2 guys. Well, the reality of it is I think the Division II players we took, a Carter Sitzman, who's from Nebraska, for instance, I think those guys are Power 4 players that play anywhere in the country. You know, and if you're really productive at one level and you've got the measurables and tools, but that you can get it done. Now, for me, the part that has not necessarily changed, but I've just defined as everybody now is looking to me for the vision is just the two things you have to play at South Dakota State is you have to be competitive and you have to love football. If you don't have those two things, I'm good. I'm out on that completely. And the reason for that is I have zero desire to coach somebody and not be able to help them get to their full potential. Well, if you're competitive and you love football, you're going to reach your full potential. And that might just be being on special teams, and that's okay, but you'll get there. But to have a team full of really talented guys that aren't playing to their capability is a reflection on our ability to evaluate, recruit, motivate, and that's just not fun. And so for us, it's always going to start with those two things, DB, is just competitive nature and love of football. And then you have to have a plan on how you're going to evaluate that. We do things on visits beyond tours and speeches and things like that. I mean, I want to see if they're going to compete, you know, like we'll set up bags, we'll set up Papa Shots, we'll set up whatever. And I'm not going to tell them to go play. I just like the kid that just gravitates towards the games and competitiveness and can grab somebody that he doesn't know and talk some trash and play some games, or a putting green set up, you know, just, hey, we're touring around and there's a little putting green there. Like, who wants to grab the putter and go? Like, whether you've golfed or not, I don't care. So anyways, it's evaluation process has stayed the same, but I'm doing my best to set really clear vision for the rest of the staff, because now it's so much more critical that they think like I do.
Well, Coach, full disclosure, a lot of my fascination with not just South Dakota State, but, you know, the other Dakota schools at the FCS level came from kind of what you talked about coming down to Nebraska and recruiting some of these kids that, you know, I see play high school and I go, well, that looks like a Power 4 kid to me, and that looks like a Power 4 kid to me, and they don't get those opportunities. One of those kids you brought in through the transfer portal this offseason in Anthony Rizek. That's a kid I watched a ton at Westside, and I go, I don't understand what nobody's seeing from this kid, but that kid can play football at whatever level you put him at. You mentioned you don't always go for the power conference kids in the transfer portal. A lot of times you go for the guys that have been highly productive at the D2 level. What about, you don't have to talk about Anthony specifically, but what about a guy like that where you'll take a chance on a guy that didn't get a chance to really play at Notre Dame, but there was obviously something about him and guys like that that drew you to him? What is that you're looking for?
Yeah, I mean, and I'll get to Anthony, but I would say Alex Bullock, right? I mean, I recruited Alex when I was when I was here in the past, and he was coming out of high school, and he, even as a high schooler, was so dialed in and focused and motivated and driven that it drew me to him. And I wanted him to get into South Dakota State originally, and I ended up leaving, and he ended up getting the opportunity in Nebraska. But a kid like that, you know, though Alex did have some production in Nebraska, and I believe he was actually a captain at one point, you know, those are the type of guys that I would be looking for in the from a Power 4 level, that I know the fire that lies inside them, and I just need to reignite it. And so Rizak is one of those guys. And though I don't have PFF film to go off of, I know everything that's inside that kid, from his heart, from his competitive nature. That's what I just said, competitive nature and loving football. I mean, that's him, you know, and when you watch him, there's a reason that he won 2 state championships there. And Damon actually talked to me about this a week ago, but it just reminded me of all the talented players that were on that team, but he was still the leader, you know, and I know Caleb was definitely a leader as well, but when they needed something offensively or they needed to get going at Westside, Anthony was the one to do it. And so when you can lead other talented people or guys that maybe even have more talent than you, it says a lot about what you can do. And he just crushed this workout. We had a team run today, and he was I think he's getting his fire ignited again because he's valued, he's believed in, he's needed. You know, you're not just here to be on the team anymore. You know, you're here to help us win a championship. And so, you know, all the Nebraska guys and anybody that we recruit, to me, it's about that competitive fire. But then beyond that, like you mentioned, Ravi, you're watching guys saying, well, that's a Power 4 player, that's a Power 4 player. They are, and I give coaches respect in how they evaluate, but it's more about looking about what they're going to be in 2 years. So like if you're watching a high school player, for me, I love what I'm seeing and all of that. But at the end of the day, I'm trying to gauge where are they going to be when they're 19, 20, 21 years old. That's what you need. And so it is a frame and all of those things, but much more beyond that, it gets back to, is this person willing to go all in to find their full potential? And Anthony's one of those guys. I mean, holy smokes, Barry Freeze from Elkhorn North.
Hey,
you talk about wins out of the portal. These
Listen.
coaches want to move around. I mean, okay, we'll come back. I mean, we'll get Barry. He just crushed this workout. I mean, this kid is
DJ.
most impressed I've ever seen with an early enrollee freshman. It's just a run, but I have never seen anything from a kid his age like I just saw.
DJ, if you keep him healthy, you got you've known me forever. You know what I'm saying without saying it. I'm not gonna overhype it. If you keep Freeze healthy, you got one. And I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, his heart. I just you see 6'4", 225. That's not hard to see, but
he loves killing people.
Yeah, he's violent, and he was taking pride in beating some of these older guys in this conditioning that we just did, and for a guy to just not be shy and timid and try to just fit in. I mean, I like guys that have no desire to just be like fitting in. I mean, push the standard, and I'm really proud of him from what I just witnessed. So now we'll see if he can know what an A gap, B gap, C gap, and do his job. But we'll get him dialed in.
Not just the easy stuff, right?
Yeah.
Coach, you mentioned we've been talking about this a lot as it relates to basketball players, but you mentioned it there with Anthony, and it's kind of talk to me about how much change you see in guys when they're finally given an opportunity with a program or a coach that believes in them and their ability, and how much just that, you take a guy, like a raw specimen, like Barry Freeze or whoever else, and you say, okay, now I inject them with, they know I believe in what they're capable of. How much does that change a guy in your experience?
No, it's everything. Our program for a long time, this is something that probably the one thing, if I said I had to take one thing from John Stiegelmeier, was he talked about belief all of the time, but he talked about belief without needing the proof to believe. And so
faith.
When a freshman walks in, do you believe that freshman is going to be an All-American before you see him do a workout, before he scores a touchdown, or do you wait to see if he's a good player, then believe? And those are stark differences. And so for us, I need to believe that we have the best staff in the country before they coach a game, before they run a meeting. And that's in our program, how we define belief. And I think the players feel that, and that's what allows them to maximize, because they don't have to show or earn my belief. I mean, they may have to earn their reps. They may have to earn and show that they can do it consistently to get into a game. But when they walk in the door, they know that they're believed in instantly, and you have to show it to them daily. And you got to love on them and hug them up when they're going to have bad days. They're going to have ups and downs and all of those things. But when your belief doesn't waver during their bad days, then it just can build so much confidence. I would flip it. I mean, football is no different than anything else. I mean, have you ever worked a job where you felt, your boss or whatever, or all the employees, they didn't feel believed in? Well, yeah, you didn't get the best out of that person or yourself. But when you felt believed in, every time in our lives when we have felt truly, truly believed in, I guarantee you did your best work. And so it's the same thing for the players.
One of the things that has always drawn me to you, even though you were always considerably younger, whether you're over on Curtis Street and you're showing me your new playbook and the systems you've built and mastering programs and movable X's and O's, there's this thing about you where even though you have supreme confidence, you're not afraid to ask other people's opinions. And I think sometimes people look at you and they think, oh, young, driven, competitive, and all those things are true. But how much of it would you tell people about, you were a couple of hours away potentially from coaching at Nebraska. You had a choice to make it Vandy. You had a choice to stay at New Mexico or to go to Brookings. Like, you've had some tough decisions to make that some may seem as risks, but you looked at it as, I'm going to get some input, rely on some guys, trust my gut, I'll go from there. Like, it hasn't always been super smooth sailing. How have you collected the data to make you better today so we hear what we're hearing now when everybody's falling in love with the words that you're saying?
Yeah, I think, I'm always going to go with my gut, but at the same time, I'm smart enough to know what I don't know, and that there's people that have lived this journey before me, and you got to get their opinion. And a unique story, though, I guess it would be a time that I didn't listen, is we had just taken the New Mexico job, and Idaho was asking me to stay to be the head coach there. And, I talked to Clark Lee at Vanderbilt, and Clark's like, Dan, take the job. You've meant to be a head coach. I talked to Stiggs. Hey, Dan, take the head coach. Take the job. You're meant to be a head coach. I talked to Lamonzi. I talked to Hammock, and Hammock said, in his way, get your ass in there and take this job. So anyways, but I did. I put a lot of thought in it, and I didn't. I do have faith, and I believe that there was, though I've wanted to be a head coach, I wasn't going to be selfish in that moment. I wanted it to be with the right people at the right time, and somewhere that I could still grow and be really, really pushed. And so, but I knew when I took the New Mexico job that we were going to attack it full steam ahead. We were going to win for a couple of years, and we were going to be out. And that wasn't driving me anymore. So I think just through relationships and trusting my gut, what I've found is that going somewhere, and if the motivator is to win and get another job, that's great. And I don't fault anybody for that, but that's no longer my motivation. My motivation and the things that get me up in the morning is seeing the kids' faces, helping them through hard times, dealing with confrontation on staff, creating confrontation on staff so we can get better. And just being able to think outside the box. And it really got me back to when I was at Burke with you and those things. None of us were taking the $600 a season paycheck at Burke for the money. We were doing it because we loved the kids. And, the amount of times that you, me, and Paul were like the only guys in the weight room with these guys or picking kids up at 5 a.m., no one's doing that for the money. So to get back here and to be doing it for something that's much, much bigger than a paycheck, feels good. And lastly on that is to me, being growth mindseted and getting out of your comfort zone and it may be easier to go be the D coordinator right now. You just did this, you got some players, you're going to win, you're confident in that. You've never been a head coach. There's a fire going on right now in Brookings. Well, there was nowhere else I wanted to come and put the fire out than here. So, trust your gut, be growth mindset. Those are things that my dad probably instilled in me as well.
Shane, we're not on the clock yet. Can I ask a couple more questions, please?
We got Cynthia at 9, but yeah.
All right. I'm going to get you out of here on this, Coach Jackson. Yep. There's two things in particular that I think are really, really interesting. Number one, again, you spent a full day interviewing in Nebraska. We were lobbying for that. Special teams. It didn't happen. You got to keep it pushing. You're with a great coach and Coach Eck. You've got a really good opportunity. I think I'm talking to you before you board the flight to Brookings that day. Does it make it, going through things like that, does it make it easier to talk to your guys about decision making, long run, counting fast dimes versus slow nickels?
Yeah, 100%. That's actually one of my top things in recruiting when I talk to kids is just, when you've been in the MAC and then you've been in the Mountain West and you've been in the SEC, it just is going to give you a little more credibility when I talk to those guys about what those experiences are. So whether you're a player on our team or somebody I'm recruiting, is like, look, this is what we're going to provide you at South Dakota State. Very clearly, black and white, this is what it is. You can develop into the best player you can be. You can win national championships. You can play in the NFL. Here's all the evidence. I'm not just saying it. Here's the 11 guys on 53-man rosters. Here's the national title rings. And then above that, I can provide most of the Power 4 resources that you get at any of these places, whether it comes to food or nutrition or a sold-out crowd or whatever. But then I can still – you can still come over to my house on Thanksgiving and feel normal. You can still our quarterback came over and watched the Duke basketball game. We could still have a relationship that's deeper than just it being a business. And that's okay that if you want to go to the Power Four, that's fine. But just understand, guys, through experience, that it is a business. Like, you don't want to sprain your ankle there. You don't want, you don't want to pull a hammy and let it linger. You don't, like, these are things that the way college football is now, guys got to move on and get somebody else in the portal. Guys got to, it is just so much more of a business. And it is here. We need to win games. I understand that. But our business is going to be building men still. It blows my mind that nobody talks about that anymore. What is the job of a coach? It is to get somebody from where they're at to where they want to go and where they desire to be. And if you could just do that and keep it simple, provide that for them, yeah, I certainly talk to them and I give them the positives of playing in the SEC, and here may be some things you need to look at. Same thing with the MAC or the Mountain West or wherever it may be. And then I at least feel good if they don't pick us because I gave them all the information. Hey, you made your decision, but I'm not going to allow you to go through this process and make a decision based on what you see on Twitter or the letter B instead of the letter C, FBS and FCS. I mean, I actually would rather be on our side of it most of the time. So yeah, definitely, the experiences shape you and the players listen to you a little bit more. It's same thing, no different than you're going to listen to somebody, DB, that's had a lot of success or been a life experience. I mean, shoot, man, I listened to you when I was a young guy. I talked to our FCA last week. I mean, you were the first person that drugged me to church, and we're going to what is now Love Church in a middle school thing. I mean, I didn't know, but what did I need to do? I needed to surround myself with people that did know and trusted them. So more experience you got, the more they trust you.
That is Dan Jackson. Coach, we're going to have to get you back because there's a bunch of questions I didn't get to. That's okay.
Well, you'll be hit. Just hit. Come back when you're recruiting. We'll bring you in studio.
Yeah, I'll be in town next Wednesday to Friday. So starting over at North High early, and then I'll hit you guys up. We'll set up a time.
Yeah, let's do it. Appreciate it, Coach.
Buddy. See you soon.
See you guys. Thank you. Bye.
And that's Dan Jackson, head football coach at South Dakota State.
#family.
I got to talk to him about expectations and coaching at a place with expectations. That's our topic next week when he comes in.
Frost was this close.
Yeah? Well, maybe for the better.
That's the point.
That is the point. We'll talk to Cynthia Freeland about the NFL playoffs. She's from NFL Network. Coming up next.
I just didn't feel he was playing that well. It was a tough matchup. They were playing five guards, with the way they play 5 out. And, it just, I don't know. Be probably a good question for him. But we're going to stick with him and obviously hopefully get him ready to play on Wednesday night. Just wasn't his night tonight, and was just trying to find a group out there that was going to be able to put the fight out that we needed to try to get back in the game.
We went in the locker room and we just said we need a big reset. I think when you're down 2 sets, it's especially against a team like that, it's really hard to come back, take it to 5, reverse sweep, whatever it is. But it was done to us on Friday night, and I think we had a little bit of fire under our butt from that. But I think Luca was saying before, it's like we can't wait for 2 sets before we start to just go grind and get after it. And I think we're never not fighting, right? But you got to start competing from the beginning.
Yeah, we kind of just talked about chipping away point by point. We obviously, it's probably unlikely that we were then going to go on an 8-0 run and tie it right back up. So I think just staying disciplined and slowly, going after it and trying to earn an extra point behind the line every single time helped us. We had a few really good plays, blocks that kind of built that momentum up. And yeah, I think just chipping away slowly, not trying to do it all at once.
Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
There he goes to Shakir, laterals it back, and they've got a big gain with Davis, and they're in field goal range. Darnold, pressure, going away. He is sacked for a big loss by Malik Mustafa, the safety. They're going to throw, and complete. Douglas, touchdown, Patriots on 4th and 1.
Bummer for the moment. Santos from 48. Carlos Santos knocks it through.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DB. I'm Ravi. Lulla. We're presented by Next Gen Mail Medical. We are joined now by CYNTHIA FRELUND of the NFL Network as we are right in the heart of the NFL playoffs. CYNTHIA, thanks for joining us this morning. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
Uh-oh.
Can you hear me?
Cynthia?
Yeah, I'm
there
here.
she goes.
Cynthia, how are we doing this morning?
Doing great, thank you. How are you? I'm not sure what happened. I'm sorry.
Probably us, operator error. It always is. Kind of off OT, but not really OT, especially with all the coaching hirings happening. I don't know how much you dabble sometimes in following college football storylines, but from what you know about Coach Cignetti, could that type of person, does that type of personality play in the NFL? And if so, who do you think closely emulates it?
Ooh. Well, the thing about Coach Cignetti is that he's very, very, he gives very, he's always the same, right? He's super consistent. He's never, you don't see him, exceedingly happy, he's just very chill. He's like back when Bill Belichick was not crazy, you know? So he gives a little bit of that, And I think they all kind of try to emulate that. The problem is most people's natural personality isn't like that. So a lot of these coaches have had a lot of experience. You know, in order to get the job of head coach, you have to be good at lobbying. But I think Jeff Hafley, he could be like that. I mean, I know him a little bit from the Boston College days. I'm a Boston College grad, so I knew him when he was a coach there. But he has resting bee face. That's kind of part of it. And but it's not a bad thing. It's just that's just naturally who he is. He can be super. I think on his wedding day he looked like that. So it's just part of who he is. So perhaps of the kind of next generation guys, perhaps Hafley's one of them. He's also smart enough to get out of college, which makes me think he's pretty smart.
Cynthia, full disclosure, Ravi has resting bitch face every day, and he just says it's his natural. He just says it's his natural disposition. So, it can work.
It just happens, right? It wouldn't be called resting if it wasn't.
I'm deep down though. I'm lovely. Cynthia, I'm kind of watching these. We'll start with the coaching carousel first, and then we'll get to playoffs. I'm watching some of these things play out, and I can't help but sit here and wonder if, Kevin Stefanski or John Harbaugh knew that the ability to coach Josh Allen would be on the table if maybe they wouldn't have waited an extra few days.
Well, the thing about that job that's perhaps less attractive than some others is control. It doesn't seem like while I know that, John Harbaugh specifically didn't get to pick his GM, but it sounds like John's the one that's driving the bus in New York, which is a big deal. Whereas Brandon Beane, it looks like he got a promotion, at least externally. It looks like he got a promotion. Right. But so is it as an attractive job if you don't get to pick your GM and how much roster control do you have? What's the reality? And that's where I struggle to figure it out because, to me, then it's then it comes down to Ravens, which John Harbaugh is obviously not going to get that job. And then the Bills. But of course, the opportunity to work with Josh Allen would be great. But their roster for the Bills is not super complete. How about that?
Are you at the least bit surprised that given all that's happened that McDermott loses his job before, let's say, anything that's going on in Philadelphia?
Philadelphia just won a Super Bowl last year. So I just think, you get a little bit of grace when you bring home a ring. You have to. That would be so weird if you didn't. Now, my question about Sean McDermott is how much did the fact that they're opening a new stadium next year, they want to start something, they have to do a lot of the business side of things has to be very, very different. So I guess the question is was it a business decision that they thought we could get a more marketable coach in here in our first season? I don't know. That's one of the things that comes to mind for me. That's a differentiator, because I don't think, looks like the players he didn't lose the locker room. Let's just put it that way.
So it's kind of seems like you might be talking about somebody else there. It's kind of weird. We spent obviously most of our time here in Nebraska talking about college football. And so when those coaching cycles come up, it sort of feels like everybody's on the table. Like there's no like coaching talent cycles. It seems like in the NFL, it's, hey, last year we had a really good crop of potential NFL head coaches. You know, you got your Ben Johnsons and people like that. Whereas this year it's like, well, I guess we can talk ourselves into Jeff Hafley. Is that the reality of the situation? Is it a little bit more cyclical in terms of who's available? And is this a down head coaching class?
I don't think it's a down class. I think it's more like, it feels weird because a lot of people who were already coaches are getting new coaching jobs, and we don't usually see the retread that quickly. And all these names about who's getting interviews, like, you know, Mike McCarthy's getting interviews, et cetera. And you're looking at that and you're like, Robert Saleh is about to be the head coach of Tennessee if it hasn't already happened, whatever, all this stuff. These guys have already been head coaches before. That's kind of a nuance of this coaching cycle. But I will say, if you want some names to look out for people who are up and comers, I could give you them. Often what happens is, like, an owner will look around, and if I'm getting a retread, it just feels more comfortable for you to, like, if you're getting a retread, I feel more comfortable getting a retread, right? If they didn't get a fair shake in, you know, New York for Robert Saleh. Okay, well, we went to San Francisco and made that defense work despite, you know, no Nick Bosa, no Fred Warner, no everyone else, right? So how does the story work? So when you're telling yourself the story of what it takes to actually hire someone, what is the threshold? It becomes easier if other people, it appears that it becomes easier if other people are also hiring retreads.
The guru behind analytics and the science of crunching NFL numbers, Cynthia FRELUND, joining us on Hurrdat Sports Live. Cynthia, are there coaches, you talk about young up-and-comers versus, you know, retreads or whatever. The NFL seems almost like, is anybody built to be non-quarterback proof? Are there coaches that you can? Okay. Wait. Would you like to think about it?
Well, I mean, Kevin Stefanski I would say Kevin Stefanski has out, at least public perception wise. Like, I don't think the Browns hated him. Like, the Browns fans and whatever, everyone in Cleveland, when you go on Cleveland sports radio, they'll say something like, you know, is it possible that this was a win-win for everyone? And you're like, I don't know. I'm sure Kevin Stefanski's a little uncomfortable with how that all went down, right? Like, you know, so maybe he's at least getting another chance despite a terrible quarterback situation. You know, but I think a lot of times your quarterback dictates, like, he'll probably go down as being far more defined as to what happens in Atlanta. Like, he has a chance to be, like, great if he makes the right decision in Atlanta about the quarterback. Whereas if he doesn't make the right decision there, it'll be like, well, he had terrible quarterback situations everywhere, so we don't know if he's a good coach or not. Like, he has, it's all upside for him. He's smart. He's very smart.
Cynthia, you mentioned a little bit earlier that, you know, maybe the Bills' entire roster situation isn't as good as kind of the candy coating of having Josh Allen to cover up some warts there. I assume, correct me if I'm wrong here, that roster-wise, the Ravens is the best open position. Who do you like the most after that? Or if they're not number one, tell me.
I mean, to be honest with you, I don't know the cap situation for Buffalo, but like, between Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, getting MVP quarterback, like, you're fine with either one. I think the Ravens roster top to bottom, 1 to 53 is better. But, you know, I think probably, even with the concerns that the Bills have, that is the number 2 job, or number 1, depends on if you want to live in Western New York. I don't know, it comes down to nuance after that. But I think there's a lot of, you know, after that, I don't know, like, we're like, do you want Vegas? Do you want Arizona? Like, okay, like, it just seems like you're like, I mean, but and the Pittsburgh Steelers, it's a confusing one too, because you have to make quarterback situation and decisions there too, and you're in the context of the AFC North, where it doesn't seem like it's going to get any easier to play there.
So from a cap space standpoint, Why isn't Las Vegas more attractive?
Well, that has nothing to do with cap space.
Okay.
There's only, I remember those like shows where like you have to spend like 10 grand in this store in 5 minutes, right?
Mhm.
You're going to grab some crappy stuff that you don't actually want because you have to spend the money very quickly. There aren't unlimited great players everywhere, right? When you have a lot of needs, it's like, are you going to pay a quarterback because you're going to get Fernando Mendoza? Are you going to, like, who's available in free agency? Like, they have to pay. They're rolling. The way the cap works, like, a little more nuanced than we talk about. And they're like, their 3-year low is kind of historically, it's a rolling average over 3 years, and they're right at the bottom. Let's just put it that way. And it's like they've got to figure out ways to pay people, and also probably a way to keep Max Crosby happy.
So how dangerous is a team like New England who's finding a way to win with the secret formula, right? That's not even a secret. Quarterback on a rookie contract, but he's got a lot of young guys and money to spend coming up here. How long-term set is a guy like Coach Vrabel in New England?
Oh, that's a great spot to be in. It's a great spot for the problem that Vrabel and the Patriots will have is that they had like a crazy easy schedule. It wasn't their fault. They only got a chance to play the people on their schedule, right? But they had one of the easiest schedules like we've seen in 10 years, just based on unforeseen factors that were kind of crazy. And then the games that they had to win, they won. They won enough games against the Bills to be the number one in the AFC East. So it worked out. But when you're looking at all the different factors that go into it, it's going to be harder to sustain that level of success. Even though they have the Milton Williams, they have the front, they got to figure out probably a little more with their O-line. They're probably a little, like, they could have a little bit extra help with that O-line to keep Drake May, keep him out of trouble. So, but it helps when you have Drake May, right? It really helps.
Cynthia, let's stick with the Patriots and move on to the playoffs this weekend. Obviously, the big news coming out of that matchup is that Jarrett Stidham is going to be the quarterback on the other side of those things. Layman's view, you look at it, you go, maybe the Patriots are better anyway, and you're going against a backup quarterback. How do you process this matchup with now this huge variable thrown into the mix?
Well, I think we're underestimating the fact that, we talk about, they don't have time to develop chemistry and blah, blah, all that stuff. All could be true. But remember, that whole offense functions on screen passes. And it did with Bo Nix, and it did with, Bo Nix when the deeper passes stopped working. And we have some recent memories of him, in the last game, making some really nice deep completions. But for the bulk of the season this year, it was screen pass after like death by 1,000 paper cuts. That's what this offense was. So it's not like asking the Sam Darnold and the Seahawks, they operate largely off of very deep passes. He has the highest yards per target average in the NFL. That is a little bit different. If you look at what Bo Nix has been doing, he runs, he creates with his legs, he throws on the run, and he doesn't necessarily throw far on the run. That's the bulk of the work. So, there could be a one game. I'm not suggesting it's helpful in the Super Bowl, but there could be a one game advantage for switching quarterback because you have literally one kneel down on film of him this season. And I was there with them. I spent the preseason with the Broncos, and Jarrett Stidham was very functional in this offense. Like, he looked great. So I'm not suggesting that helps, but I'm just saying they have absolutely no film on him. None.
And the line would indicate you're closer to being right than not. It's pretty snug, 4.5, which at this stage you'd think is pretty light. Let me ask you something. So I asked you the other way. Is there any coaches that you think are good quarterback play proof? I got the quick no. How about the other way? Coaches you'd look at that if I have a quarterback that's kind of on the fringe or has shown some flashes like a Kyler Murray or some of these guys, are there those guys? Because I think it's interesting that Kingsbury got the Ziggy. He apparently didn't get credit for Daniel's first year, but got all the blame for an injury-prone offense the second year. Are there guys like that out there?
There are tons of different flavors out there. The question that I have about all of it is, who are you going to get to be your, like, I think every team in the league is like, you know what I'd love? I'd love for Cliff Kingsbury to be my offensive coordinator. But, like, he wants to be does he want to be the head coach? I don't know. And then until these head coaching vacancies are filled, then you're probably not going to get, like, the Lions just hired Drew Petzig. They could have waited till Mike McDaniels was, for sure not, like, there wasn't a strong market for Drew Petzig out there, right? But they wanted to get it done and get it going. So I think a lot of this stuff is really related to who gets the head guy job, and then after that, how does it trickle down? But if I'm interviewing these guys, I'm asking Cliff, who's your offensive coordinator that comes with you? I'm asking them, who's your defensive coordinator that comes with you? How are you gonna manage the full team, not just one thing that you're good at? And it's the same thing for every coach, to be fair.
Is there a coach that you think is currently getting more credit than you deserve that's kind of being propped up by a quarterback?
I don't know. I mean, I tend to believe that, I tend to believe that Mike McCarthy, and I don't mean to throw shade at him because I'm sure.
Throw it all because the Steelers are going to interview him. Throw shade, Cynthia. Throw shade. I don't want him. Throw shade.
Well, I don't really know him. I feel as though the situations that I watched him in, I mean, he's had two of the best. Like, is it really so hard if you have Aaron Rodgers? Is it really so hard if you Dak? I don't know. And I'm confused who he would. To me, it almost has nothing to do with the individual coach and more about the sum of all of the people they bring with them.
All right. So, Cynthia, do you have a sleeper job where you're thinking, this hasn't been historically good, but as I'm kind of looking at the data, this one intrigues me. Is there that job?
Well, it got filled. I think Atlanta was to me obviously you have one big decision to make for sure, but you're in a great division where no one wanted to win. So you have the opportunity to make big strides pretty quickly, which is what ownership tends to, favor when they're deciding if they're going to keep your job, you're going to keep your job or not. And a lot of that roster is good. There's a lot of good pieces to that roster. They've been building it well. I don't think that, it looks to me like it's so interesting. Like, it looks to me like their, GM could have probably stayed because the roster building was, I don't know, but whatever. But I think to make the job more attractive, which is a smart strategy, they wanted both. So I don't know. I'm looking at that and I don't understand the Matt Ryan role, but at least they're trying to think differently. So that's good.
All right. So let me go really close, right in your backyard. Is Dan Campbell, is he thin-insulated enough to not have to produce this year?
No. In many ways, I think that the ownership of the Lions is modeling themselves after, Carly Ursay, whatever, we saw her standing on the sideline. I think, when the Ford family took over, things were good. Like, obviously it's, it was been in the Ford family, but when the next generation of Fords took over, you're now being able to see a little bit of changes. The front office is different. You don't really notice this as viewers, they're trying to change one of the, traffic patterns to get into the stadium. They're trying to do things that never before you've seen from the Lions. Again, not nationwide, no one cares about that, but in the city, people actually do care about that because it also helps with the baseball park is they share a parking lot. So, I think they're trying to model themselves a bit after kind of more forward-thinking organizations. I think Carly Ursay is been instrumental after her dad died. She's changed the way things run. I think it empowers some of the Lions to make decisions. And I don't think, and not to say that they don't love him, but I think that they would be willing to think differently if things don't improve significantly this season.
This is last one for me, and it's fitting because I always cry about, I want to stretch you more than talking about quarterbacks. But as you look at these four teams left, is it any more or how much more complicated is it that Stafford clearly seems to be the most different of everybody left, but it doesn't seem like it is that clear cut that it'll be enough? Is that true when you look at these four quarterbacks, even including a guy like Stidham, when you try to cap these games?
When I'm looking at this one, to me, it's very plain and simply the erosion of incremental erosion of the Rams defense. It's the question really is Stafford enough to overcome what his defense is giving. Because look at the other teams that are still left in the field. Seattle's defense, pretty punishing.
Elite.
Denver's defense,
Elite.
we get it. Right. The New England's defense, yeah.
Becoming
so when you're looking
elite.
at that, right. But so the question is Matthew Stafford enough to overcome a defense that has tailed off in the second half of the season? And that's where, it's not a Stafford question to me. Is Stafford able to overcompensate for those deep balls? They were a problem. They were exploited by a bunch of teams, and you can find ways to connect deep against them. Caleb Williams showed you that. Everyone showed you that since basically the second half of the season.
That's Cynthia Freeland from the NFL Network. Cynthia, thank you so much for the time. As always, great stuff. We'll talk to you soon.
You got it.
That is Cynthia Freeland from the NFL Network.
She's so efficient.
Good stuff there. Getting after it.
So you can handle complex questions too,
like what?
I don't even know what that meant. I don't appreciate your jokes either.
I didn't make any jokes. I don't have any jokes.
You guys, it's pretty cool to hear your feedback on Coach Jackson. And to his credit, he lets us stretch him. Because sometimes, people sound different with different people and members. And I think he trusts us enough to let us stretch him.
Which is great. I've never talked to him before.
He is.
So he trusts you enough, and then me by association, I think.
He is my ride or die.
Because that's the first time I've spoken to him. I've sort of been fascinated from afar.
Yeah, he's very thoughtful.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
that really comes across. Yeah.
Imagine leaving New Mexico on a plane, headed to Brookings for a potential head coaching job at a school you have history with.
Yeah.
And you're going to leave a guy like Eck.
Well, not just that, but he kind of slid this in under the radar.
Go ahead.
Idaho offered me their head coaching job as well, by the way. And so he's not just deciding. He had just turned down a head coaching job to follow.
He'd been in New Mexico a month. I mean, he got Keegan.
Yeah. He had just turned down a head coaching job to follow Coach Eck to New Mexico. And then this other head coaching job comes up where he has this opportunity to go back to a place where he's got history very close to a place where he's from.
When you get him in, when he comes in studio.
Yeah.
Ask him about the story about Gronowski.
Oh, okay.
It'll tell you all you need to know about his character.
Well, I think he already told us. I mean, he didn't use Gronowski specifically.
Well, there's even Hawthorne.
Yeah.
And both those guys wound up in Iowa.
Yeah.
And I told him before he's getting ready to get on the plane, and I was like, hey, man, I don't want this guy to go to Iowa, so I'm being selfish. Nebraska was too late on Hawthorne. Go back and get that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the guy that was tuning me in, you want to know his character?
Yeah.
So he's talking about recruiting guys and what kind of guys fit South Dakota's culture. And so we're going through all these things. And he's like, you want to tell you want to know. He said, I got a $400,000 left tackle. I got this. I got that. He says, but you want to know what we're about? You know our favorite player is on campus? It's a guy by the name of Joe Roll. I said, stop right there. I said, did you just say Joe Roll? He said, yeah, let me tell you about. I said, DJ, his dad, that's my guy. He crushed us for Gretna.
Yeah.
He was the guy that before he hurt his knee as a senior, I was like, Zane is still finding a way. Marshall was already gone. I said, if he's anything like his dad, say less. But he was talking about how the guys rally around what he is. Their best guy in practice. He's never been healthy. Everybody cheers for him. He's a super student. So when we're talking about kind of parsing through guys that he likes versus I like versus he wants some insight, that's his barometer. That would be the equivalent to Coach Rule saying to me or to you or to whomever, he's like, Rob, the guys that were like, I'm going to pit them against Derek Wacker. You're going to be like,
I'm sorry, why? Yeah. I mean, that's your response, right? It's like, that's not.
Yeah.
But if you're looking at, hey, bringing guys into the portal, it's like, I need guys that are wired like Derek Wacker.
Yeah. And he Nebraska kept him extra longer than the interviewing time for the special teams job with Coach Frost. He changed his flight, stayed late, was there all day, helped teach his staff. Didn't end up going with him, which is neither here nor there. And to this day, I think instead of DJ being bitter, he could pick up the phone and hit Coach Frost up and be like, "Hey, can you help me with
XYZ, whatever?" Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
When it would be easy to be like, and to Frost credit, he looked out too. So it's just who he is, kind of as a person. Now, we have a lot of things in common. One of the things that I really, really like about him is, even though he's supremely confident, he will ask other people's opinions, and he quietly keeps receipts. His memory, without being petty, is
lock, stock.
That's my dude. You know how I am.
Yeah.
It's not going to change it's not going to change my behavior, but it is definitely stored in the Rolodex.
Yeah, it's not gonna be outwardly petty. Nope. I think there's a little pettiness inside there still.
Yeah. Come on, man.
The chat is killing you for every time you bring up Kyler Murray to the Steelers.
I know.
They're just crushing you.
It's fun. So you guys, can you help? Can we all just be friends here? Like, I'm desperate.
I understand that. I understand where you're coming from.
I'm not telling you they're getting.
You're not like getting an expansion draft and you're
I'm
like,
not
that's
like,
my
hey,
number one
man,
pick.
like, give me Peyton Manning. Like, you guys.
You're trying to be realistic about what might be out there.
Yeah, come on, Kobayashi.
That could also still be an upgrade at the quarterback position. I get you. Also, I mean, okay, hear me out. What if this plays out like this? I think Cynthia's right. I don't think Mike McDaniel's getting a head coaching job, which is smart. He shouldn't.
Bring Mike McDaniel to Pittsburgh as an
to
OC.
Be Kyler Murray's offensive coordinator. Then I'm interested.
Or whomever else. Like, just give me some creativity on offense and hire. How about the irony of hiring a tough guy like Flores who got replaced by Mike McDaniel, and they're counter opposites in terms of softy versus Preston.
That'd be interesting. I don't know if that would be Brian's first call as OC.
You never know.
Yeah, you don't.
He worked with O'Connell.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe he appreciates.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Maybe he appreciates that type of coaching more than he did before. That type of coaching personality.
You see, Alex.
Yeah. Does DB like Kyler because he was really good at baseball too?
I don't understand.
I wouldn't put it past you. That seems like one of those weird reasons why
I'm
you
the
would like
only
somebody,
nice guy up here. Why are you guys always mean to me?
Hear the words.
Nobody's mean to you, DB. It's okay.
Oh, I love the voice.
It's okay.
You condescending prick.
It's gonna be all right.
Man, there's no shortcut to it.
I know, Mike. Hey, what's that RBF you got going?
They know what that is about.
I can't even do it on purpose.
No, it's just natural. Don't try. Just look at it.
I think I've got more resting condescension face more than anything.
We all bring bags, right?
Dude.
Kobe says campaigning for Flores as head coach. And
I'm not campaigning, Kobe. Like, what is that? What you hear?
We'll end up with a new coaching search in 2 years.
Like, what is wrong with these people's comprehension? I'm not campaigning for anyone.
That's not their MO. Whatever coach they have, they're going to ride or die.
Alex says it's out of love, DB. DJ says we love you, DB, just not Kyler.
Part of it is I was arguing with a guy at my former place of business that he was going to be a better football player than a baseball player. When he got the second contract, Colorado Josh conceded.
Yeah.
But he may have won the war, though, because...
Well, there's no data on that side of the ledger. Though.
I know.
That's the hard part, right? Also,
but I kind of feel like he's keeping himself in the could tap me on the shoulder later on discussion.
Yeah.
But Kyler got his $243 million.
Also,
No, the Steelers don't. Look, you guys just got Halfley. Like, enjoy that.
I think,
although he recruited the heck out of Caleb to BC.
I will say I find it difficult to imagine Kyler having.
Do you love when he just chooses to use caps?
Yeah.
Do you think could Kobe be on our team and not be angry?
Well, who are you talking about? Our team. You draft him, not me.
Well, I didn't draft. I would draft him, but he was placed on my team.
No, I don't know. I think you get everything that comes with Kobe.
That's fine.
I don't think you can pick and choose.
I've had big personalities.
I do wonder if Kyler has the requisite personality for the failure management that baseball requires.
You have to move on from him in Arizona.
I would think so, yeah.
But somebody's got to be willing to take that contract on.
I don't know how much of it left it's guaranteed.
So I think he's got 3 years left.
Is it all full?
Oh, it's
full boat.
It's chunky.
Yeah.
But you blew Gannon out. You don't want to inherit Murray, do you?
No, you can't. You can't saddle a new coach with that. Maybe that's part of the problem with trying to.
Maybe whoever goes to Vegas, Viva, can take Kyler.
You want him?
No.
Shane, you want him?
No.
You sure?
I mean, there's
He's
already...
little. Why? Like.
they need no.
What's wrong? What's so funny?
You just think he likes all short people?
I'm still mad at you for me having to convince you that Purdy was actually good.
Viva Las Vegas,
You
baby.
didn't have to convince me Purdy was actually good.
Do we need to rewind the conversation of quarterbacks that you would ride with to win a Super Bowl?
You had to convince me that they should pay him $53 million a year.
You used your own quarterback as an example on how you don't feel compelled to pay people.
Yeah, I wouldn't have wanted to pay him $53 million a year.
Is Purdy a franchise quarterback?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. All right. High five for you for having some sense.
Nailed it. I still,
even begrudgingly.
It's the money. It's not the, I think he's criminally underrated by most NFL fans. I think he's way better than people give him credit for. The people that were talking about, well, maybe you just keep Mac Jones. Idiots. Full stop.
How about them trying to shove Mac Jones on me in Pittsburgh? Do you think I want to watch that?
You sure? You want him?
What kind of diet is he on?
He's pretty cheap.
And why is he built like that?
He's pretty cheap. You can have him. Cheaper than Kyler. I'm just saying, although with what Cynthia was saying, he might make sense with the Raiders. They got money.
DJ, they do.
They got money to burn.
Now,
it
is weird. It won't really fully inflate. Cynthia's right, because this is her job and this is what she does.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just simply look at cap space, because there are some rollovers. He said, "No way, Kobe. Why do you hate me?" I'm just. I just.
The Raiders burn too much money as it is,
and I don't want Geno Smith.
No, I don't want Geno Smith either.
Pete did was extend Geno.
I know, that's quite the decision he made there.
Well,
gonna cost him some money.
He's clearly looking for a job. He said, "I'll trade you to a DB. You need to." Can you imagine Tua in the Steel City?
Oh gosh.
People in the Steel City drink beers. Tua likes mojitos. That ain't gonna work. Not that I have anything against mojitos.
It'll be okay.
Rico says go out and get Anthony Richardson. I hear he's amazing.
No. So it's funny.
Mm-hmm.
The smug young guys that have their quarterback locked up, and he's a really good
player. Yeah, he's like,
it's funny how all you
I just got Drake May.
Yeah, I can poke fun at all you yahoos, the other 2/3 of the league that don't have quarterbacks.
And even half of those teams that think they have quarterbacks but really don't. Those are my favorite ones.
God, you know who I wish would somehow become available?
Who's that?
Drake May?
No, not Drake May. You're going to laugh.
Darnold?
No, another guy I've defended quietly.
JJ McCarthy?
He looks closer to, well, actually, he looks closer to you than me, but he's more me.
Not a lot of Indian quarterbacks in the NFL.
Dak Prescott.
Oh, okay.
No, I don't want Shador. Kobe's out of control.
Shador?
We ain't going to get Chinese. I'm done.
Rico says Tom Brady to Cam Newton to Mac Jones to Drake May. It was a tough 5 seasons.
I think for as much as New England won, and as bad as they were as a franchise, even though they had the mid-'90s a little bit in the
Drew
year
Bledsoe,
with Wilson
Parcells.
and Wade Wilson and Grogan in 85 when they got shellacked by the Bears.
Yeah.
They're the only comp to Indiana.
Oh, the turnaround?
And it's not because the Patriots were at such a bottom. They were a bad franchise to have gone to such dominance. So the gap is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Not how far they had. You know what I mean? It's because
you're not talking about
their heights were so high.
So much higher.
With the 25,000 Super Bowls.
Yeah. Like, they were a bad franchise. They weren't the Jets.
Because I don't really think Indiana has any peers outside of that.
I don't.
Even when Kevin brought up the Saints,
I don't think that's it either.
I don't either.
I think, well, certainly in college football, there is no comparison.
No.
Ever.
No.
I mean, full stop.
And I know that K-State fans had that VHS tape, Decade of Dominance, which wasn't really.
No, they had, I mean, you could maybe.
They didn't win a national title, though.
They didn't win a national title. I'm not just doing this because I like them. But this is way far back, and it took longer. You could maybe make the argument for Florida State pre and post Bowden. They were pretty bad pre-Bowden, but they weren't Indiana. You know what I mean? Like, and it took way longer to get to the national
Aren't you
championship.
still mad at Bowden for not winning more titles?
No, I was never really mad at Bowden. I was mad that he hung on too long. Like, I was mad because I wanted Mark Richt to take over that job. So I would have preferred he kind of get out in the early 2000s when Mark Richt could have taken over still.
So who's more likely to change addresses with inflated contracts, Tua or Murray?
Oh, I don't.
One quarterback openly said it'd be dope to play someplace else. I'm sure the fan base loves that.
That'd be dope. I would I don't know about who'd be easier to move. I think I'd rather have Kyler.
Can you just entertain this for a second? Like, who can the Steelers get as a quarterback? I mean, are you really going to bring Rodgers back and run it back with Sean Payton 2.0 and Mike McCarthy?
43 at 43 years old. Okay, let's just go through real quick. Patriots no, Bills no, Tua. So there's one. You could probably have anybody on the Jets roster, but that's probably not.
We gave the Jets one of those guys.
You want him back? You don't want Justin Fields back?
I tried. Like,
Ravens.
No, you didn't give him enough of a chance. No, yes, we did. He can't play catch.
Ravens no, Bengals no.
Although, does Burrow really want to stay in Cincy? I guess bringing Zach Taylor back helps, but you're gonna get that guy to go all neck beard.
You're gonna have to pry Burrow out of their cold dead fingers, though, and you might be able to at some point. But that's not one that.
What's the difference between Burrow and Andrew Luck right now?
Not a lot, but I bet there's a lot of teams in the league that would have taken Andrew Luck up until the moment he retired.
Well, Bengals better do something, otherwise, the guy's gonna be retiring early.
Lawrence isn't available. Stroud's not available.
Although, you ask Texans fans, he should be. God, I can't believe how they turned their back on him.
Yeah. I mean, it's been a rough couple years. Like, it hasn't looked good. Since his rookie year, it hasn't looked good.
Could D'Amico work with no pleats? Kingsbury?
Maybe.
I mean, maybe.
Maybe.
D'Amico in flat fronts.
That could be a nice combo. Honestly, D'Amico and Mike McDaniel might make sense. They work together.
I don't want Mike McDaniel to go to anybody in the AFC that has a chance to win.
Because you think he's good?
I think McDaniel is a good offensive mind.
Well, they work together in San Francisco.
No, Kobe, I don't. I can't stand Jameis Winston.
They work together in San Francisco. That actually might make sense for D'Amico and Mike McDaniel. They're at least familiar with each other. I don't know if they liked each other.
Who would you hire first, McDaniel or Kingsbury?
McDaniel.
Is this the Q rating?
No.
What'd you say, Jameis? I'm sorry.
Game 7. You can't miss.
This dude, the worst.
The ball is still in your left hand, and you're trying to change it to the right.
I do not want that.
A lot of kids, a lot of people don't want the rah-rah.
Yeah, Hayward would choke you.
Daniel Jones probably not available.
Although I would.
You would take him. You like him.
Yeah, I like Daniel Jones.
Anthony Richardson probably is available, but I don't think you want him.
Even in February with the month, I don't want Anthony Richardson as a quarterback.
Maybe yesterday, definitely not today. Tennessee Titans, Cam Ward. Well, you might change your mind on the health.
Well, if you're going to get one.
The orbital fracture.
Oh, one what, Shane? Hopefully you're saying quarterback.
Yeah, if you're going to get a quarterback in the offseason, do you have to get him early? Because didn't Pittsburgh go way late last year?
Yeah, it was like June.
Yeah.
It's because he was spelunking and doing all sorts of other things.
Yeah, he was doing
Getting
ayahuasca,
hitched.
seeing if he could figure out.
Every day y'all go out.
Not getting
on
Bo
the road.
Nix, not getting Herbert, not
See,
getting Mahomes.
We already had the Russell Wilson experiment, Kobe.
Maybe Geno. You're not getting Jalen Hurts. You could. I wonder what the like. Dak seems like he might be available.
I know. That's kind of what I'm hoping.
He's definitely the best guy we've mentioned so far.
See, these guys, they hate me. Well, why would I want Geno Smith? Have you ever listened to Geno Smith?
Daniel's not available.
No.
Jackson
So
Dart's not available.
I
Caleb
don't want
Williams not
Geno.
available. Jordan Love's not available. I think everybody in Minnesota is
Listen,
available.
See, Kobe's trying to give me back all our old trash.
Jared Goff.
We had that guy, Kobe.
Jared Goff's not available. Bryce Love, no. You would take Mayfield, but he's probably not available. Would you take Penix? Would you take a shot on Penix, trying to rehab Penix?
Yep.
So your power rankings right now.
I'd also take Kirk Cousins.
Okay.
Thank you, Eric.
Either one?
Sensible. Eric, he has sense. He always has
You
sense.
take either of the quarterbacks in Atlanta?
Yep.
Okay.
And they just restructured Cousins' deal, so,
Yeah,
it
so it's
makes
not
him a
as-
little more friendly.
It's not as poison pilly.
You Bill Biv Bravo. Like, poison.
You don't go to war with warm milk and cookies.
That contract is poison. No. Darnold's probably not available. Stafford, no. Purdy. You can have Mac Jones or Kyler Murray. So power rankings of guys we've gone through. Dak, number 1.
Yep.
Kyler, number 2.
Probably.
At Tua, number 3, or are you taking Atlanta, whoever?
Give me the whatever in Atlanta. I don't think Tua doesn't. Do you know that guy's record in cold weather? Why would you bring him to Pittsburgh?
I'm just asking of the guys who are available.
He can't play when it's 50.
I'm just asking of the guys who are available. I'm just here so I don't get fined. Where does Daniel Jones fit in there?
Oh, he'd be up there, but I
above Atlanta.
So the Colts think he's going to be ready.
That's fine. I'm saying he's potentially available. He's not on like a franchise deal. They didn't make the playoffs. Like Daniel Jones above or below the Atlanta situation for who you would want.
Above Cousins, but below Penix.
Okay. So Dak, Kyler, Penix, Daniel Jones.
And
Kirk
why would
Cousins.
Atlanta move off the rookie deal unless it's a great deal?
I don't know. Maybe
Penix isn't really costing them anything.
I think there's some people.
Malik Willis is interesting.
Okay.
Why is Kobe trying to give me all the black quarterbacks? Is it Martin Luther King Day's over? It's not even February yet. Why are you trying to give me all the brothers?
He wants Joe Milton now. He wants to give you Joe Milton.
I think he's just needling me. I might give Kobe Chinese with no chopsticks.
No chopsticks for Kobe?
No, Kobe doesn't strike me as a chopsticks guy.
He's eating his Chinese food with a fork.
That's fine.
That's fine. I'll eat my Chinese food with a fork.
Are you ready to move off of Salah?
No, I mean, I'm bummed.
Why would he take the Tennessee job?
I don't know, man. Why did he take the Jets job?
Can you do that look again?
Why he takes the Jets job? I think if I'm trying to be generous with his decision making, which in his career I'm not sure about. Obviously, as a defensive coordinator, I really like him. I wonder if you're looking at it and you go, if he can talk himself into Cam Ward.
I'm gonna have to take a timeout from Kobe.
Like, do you think
he can still be on my team, but he's on punishment?
So you're like Sirianni and AJ Brown, like there's a little bit of a complicated relationship.
And if we keeping a buck right now, we ass.
Like maybe if you're Robert Saleh, you look at it and you go, I like Cam Ward, I can figure it out. Maybe.
I mean, maybe.
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 Because he went to the
But Ward had a stretch Ward had a stretch where he looked like he could be all right. I'm not.
That's what I mean.
Cam
like
Ward is fine.
Maybe you talk yourself into Cam Ward. And Cam Ward's not on the list, Dixie. Cam Ward's not on the list for the Steelers because he's on a rookie deal. They just drafted him #1 overall. They're not moving off of him yet.
Jared Stidham will be available after he wins the Super Bowl. Wouldn't that be something? You know, hey, he'd make that NBC Peacock look dull and small. Peyton would get his strut game right if they won a Super Bowl with Stidham.
Oh, yeah.
You listen to that guy?
Yeah.
And he seems like he'd be a tough hang.
Yeah. No, I think he'd let people know. I think he might have a few things to say about it.
Why would Salah go to Tennessee?
Maybe he likes Ward. If you're looking at do you think the Titans situation ownership wise is bad? Do you think they have bad owners, or they've just been bad?
I don't know how you could look at that situation when you moved off of Vrabel too early, and you knew you were going against what your fan base wanted. I don't know how you can't look negatively at the ownership.
So it sounded like it was a power struggle with the GM at the time.
Mm-hmm.
I think sometimes.
Does Buffalo have first dibs?
Probably Baltimore. I would take Baltimore over Buffalo.
Because of Bean?
Well, because of Bean.
Or were you like Bisciotti as the owner at the top in Baltimore?
Baltimore's just been a better franchise.
Yeah.
Like, they just know what they're doing. Like, that's
although the last 8, how many playoff games did the Ravens win the last 8 years? 3?
It's been a minimum, yeah.
I mean, you talk about a guy that's this conception or misconception that Harbaugh is like this franchise builder.
I get it.
I don't get that at all.
Yeah, I'm talking more about the franchise than I am about Harbaugh. Like, I think there's a bunch of adults. Like,
I mean, remember in 01 with that guy, Brian Billick? They had a lot of those pieces when Harbaugh got
100%.
there.
And it has been a long time since that Super Bowl that he won.
So,
I give Peyton a hard time. It hasn't been that much more recent that Harbaugh won the Super Bowl either.
Oh, no, that would be interesting, Alex. Like if Salah got McDaniel in Tennessee.
Yeah, that would be super interesting.
Because Salah is a tough guy.
Mm-hmm.
So he would offset McDaniel.
I think if you're just an OC, you can afford to be a little bit more McDaniel's personality type than if you're the head coach, obviously. But that would be super interesting.
Yeah, that's not a bad pull, Alex.
We
had Mitch. Okay, Kobe. I'm not talking. He's officially on punishment.
I like Salah a lot. I think he's obviously a terrific defensive coordinator. I think he can be a good head coach. I just don't know what to do with anything that happens with the Jets, whether it's quarterbacks, whether it's head coaches. I have no idea what to do with anything that happens with the Jets. I almost just have to erase it and be like, that didn't happen. Let's start over.
Hard to get a
good gauge on anything that's real there because it's such a bad franchise.
No, I'm with you.
And so I look at it and I go, okay, Salah, I think is if you can talk yourself into, I think Cam Ward is the guy or a guy, then that all of a sudden becomes a much more appealing job, right? Because otherwise you're looking at a bunch of situations where it's like, well, I don't have a quarterback there, I don't have a quarterback there, I don't have a quarterback there. Like you taking Vegas over Tennessee?
I don't know. Vegas seems to be a poop show.
That's what I mean.
No disrespect, Shane.
I mean, with all due disrespect, Shane, that's a poop show.
Hello, friend.
It's fine.
Can I pet that dog?
No.
Carol asked why Pittsburgh wouldn't want McDermott. Would you want McDermott?
Yes.
That seems better than the options we're talking about for Pittsburgh.
Certainly better than McCarthy.
Yeah, and I'm interested in Flores.
Don't let me hate on McCarthy. Like, listen, McCarthy is Peyton, so
sure,
I'm not thumbing my nose up at that.
I
just don't want. I mean, this is the third. He's just anti. Like, that's just not what we do.
Here's the thing that I will give Peyton.
Or they do. Sorry.
Here's the thing I'll give credit for with Peyton over McCarthy, and Cynthia brought this up. Peyton's doing it differently now than he did in New Orleans, which lends credence to the fact that he's a better coach than maybe I gave him credit for. Whereas McCarthy didn't look different in Dallas than he did in Green Bay. I didn't think. Like, that looked like the same version of the same guy, as opposed to Peyton, which this looks like none of the Saints teams look like this. So I have to give some credit there. Whereas,
how are you ranking the open jobs?
Let me bring up the full list because I don't want to miss one. I do think Baltimore's number one. I think Baltimore's got to be number one.
Ahead of Baltimore.
Or ahead of Buffalo. I think
Buffalo, I'm sorry.
I think Buffalo's 2. I think the Steelers are 3rd.
You're thinking franchise
Just
stability.
yes, just good franchise. Adults know what they're doing.
And the cap is they're not necessarily in cap hell.
I don't think that's a place where you can trust they're going to make reasonable decisions.
Yeah, but you haven't had a quarterback since Roethlisberger.
That's fine. It's easier to change quarterbacks than it is ownership.
Is it?
Than it is change ownership? I'm not saying it's easier to find a quarterback. I'm saying it's easier to change them. You're at least going to give yourself a couple of shots, a couple bites at the apple at quarterback. If you pick a bad owner, you're done. Like, that's not changing. That's what you're stuck with. So I sit there and I go, okay, I'll take my chances with good ownership, and maybe I can find my own Sam Darnold, or maybe I can talk somebody into a Daniel Jones situation, or maybe I can find somebody that can quarterback whisper into Kyler Murray's ear and turn him into an adult. I don't know. Like that, I will take my chances with a good franchise with an opportunity to bring in a quarterback rather than I would a bad ownership.
Are you sure?
Yes, I am sure.
All right.
Because, well, there's really no options on the table that are good quarterbacks, bad ownership, unless you really like Cam Ward. And then maybe you can make that argument.
I mean, maybe.
We're keeping the book right now. We asked.
After the Steelers, who do I have left? Raiders, Browns, Cardinals?
Yeah. So you put the Raiders last, Cardinals second to last?
I think the Browns are fourth. That feels weird to say, but like, if you can talk yourself into Cam Ward, you can probably talk yourself into Shedeur.
Well, and their roster's pretty good. You have the best player in the NFL.
That's the thing. Is the roster outside of quarterback is good. Like, that's a good roster. Which means
that's a good start.
I don't think.
What do you know?
Trust me, Raiders don't have a good start at all.
He has one good question. Now he thinks he knows ball. I don't know what.
Hey, now you're just not going to talk about my little friend.
I actually don't think Cleveland's a terrible job.
So let me ask you something. Can you offset ownership? Do you separate ownership from a good front office?
You can.
Because I think you can.
Yeah, I think you can. I think they often go hand in hand. I think often, not always.
No,
here's
listening.
my argument is that's where the good decision making from ownership typically takes place. Is things you can control, right? You can control, for the most part, a good front office and good decision makers. Now, quarterback is the place where you look at it and you go, it's sort of a crapshoot for everyone. So I sort of take that.
I look at New York.
Giants.
Great ownership group.
Yeah.
That front office has been a little
messy.
Yeah.
But they had the wherewithal. However you think about Harbaugh as a franchise builder, they had the wherewithal.
Cincinnati's both, right? Shaky ownership group.
And bad front office.
Bad front office.
Yeah. But you look at Harbaugh and you go, okay, this guy's an adult. He at least knows what it looks like, whether you want to give him the responsibility or the front office in Baltimore or Bisciotti or whoever. He at least knows what it looks like to run a functional franchise. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's a sign of good ownership to say, hey, this guy has some of the things we're looking for. Whether they're right or wrong, I don't know. But I often think they go hand in hand. They don't have to, but I think they go hand in hand because that's a place where ownership actually can exercise their influence more so than, well, they found a good quarterback. Like, I don't think the Colts were a good franchise or a good, well-owned because they ran into Peyton Manning and Andrew Luck back-to-back. Like, I don't know that
You didn't think Irsay was a good owner?
That's not why he was a good owner.
Oh, I hear you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, Green Bay.
I don't know if I agree, but I'm listening.
Green Bay, I don't think is a well-owned or managed. I know
they are, though, and Gutekunst is pretty good.
But it's not because they went Favre, Rodgers, Love.
So you're making the case independent of or in addition to a good quarterback.
Independent of a good quarterback.
Okay.
Right?
That's
because fair. You have good quarterbacks doesn't make you good ownership. The reason the Colts and Packers were good ownership is because they lined everything else up consistently, which, by the way.
You want the current poster child for what you're talking about, probably?
Go ahead.
It's probably Washington.
Well, now with better ownership, yeah. Yeah, since the sale, sure.
But can I remove
Do we have enough
Jaden Daniels?
Do we have enough track record of that with Washington? Because he's only been there a couple years.
Not yet.
Right? I think, honestly, what you're looking for, example-wise, is
the Hunts.
Well, I actually do think it's Pittsburgh.
No, I agree.
Yeah, like that's.
But you asked the like grassrootsy, like there's been a difference in the Roonies.
Sure.
But I like their front office. Like he's aggressive.
I think their front office is good. I think they,
for once,
typically put together at least functional rosters. Like they do a good job piecing things together. But they just haven't been able to figure the quarterback spot out. They've tried, and they keep trying. Right? They tried drafting Kenny Pickett.
I'm listening to you.
Yeah.
You know who I think has like? They have to be among the tops in the league.
Who? For ownership?
I'm thinking coach, quarterback, front office, ownership group.
Who's that?
How is Kansas City not the model franchise?
I don't know if their ownership is good.
So you're you have to be an old head to get into the guts of the Hunt, the family. But how are they not?
So here's why I say this. You know those surveys that come out every year?
I know about. Yeah, I know.
A lot of things that they can control, they score very badly on.
They're just winning in spite of themselves because
they're winning because they have the best coach and quarterback in the league.
They have
good front office. Good front office,
man. Yeah,
good front office. Don't get me wrong. Good front office.
They draft their ass off.
Absolutely, but
outside of receivers,
for a lot of things that for that ownership can control, they do not score well on at all.
I get
consistently.
I get
so I think about it. I go, okay, what happens when Andy Reid leaves? What happens when Patrick Mahomes ages into a different part of his career? If he does, I don't know. Like, I assume he's not going to be Brady because nobody is, right? Brady's the ultimate outlier here. So to assume he's going to be great in his late 30s doesn't make sense, right? So what does that look like then? Then I'll have a better idea. But pre-Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid is not a great look for the Chiefs.
So P, I don't know if the Steelers have been trash in the draft. They haven't hit early. They're better late. They're better 2 through 7 than they are 1.
Josh asked an interesting question. He says, I wonder how Nebraska would score on that survey. On the things they ask players about, I think Nebraska would come
be
in
high.
Incredibly high.
They would be really high.
Because every single thing that money can buy, Nebraska has.
So I don't have guys hit the portal.
Like every single thing that you can control outside of wins, Nebraska does a great job of, which is why I continue to believe in their ability to get there at some point.
There's Channel 3 Sean. And I would classify him as an old head Chiefs fan.
Absolutely.
So he's been through the bad, the kind of good,
and now the really good.
Yeah. He thinks the Hunts are kind of cheap.
I think that's the consensus. People don't like their facilities. They don't like their food service. They don't like they don't like their practice facility.
Well, the facility is.
They don't, which is why they're moving to Kansas. I get that.
So isn't that going to? I don't know.
I don't know. I really don't.
It hurts me to use the Chiefs as an example, but I'm also going to be. I can be objective.
That's one where I think the ownership is not good, but everything below them is so good it doesn't matter.
How about how quickly Cynthia answered the question, can a coach over? She said no.
I mean, if you look at Mike Tomlin, who I think most people think is one of the better coaches.
He's the closest.
One of the better coaches in the league.
He's the closest.
As soon as his quarterback aged out of being competitive, he could not survive that.
Well, they won a ton.
Yeah.
He just couldn't. I mean, 2017 is
a long time ago. But you also, once Ben Roethlisberger stopped being that guy.
Did you see the stat where McVay had won 10 postseason games since Tomlin won his last one?
That's crazy.
I'm going to say that again. McVay won his 10th postseason game since Tomlin won his last one. That's incredible.
Yeah, that's insane. Because Tomlin is a guy that I still consider one of the better coaches in the league.
Then stop dropping air quotes.
Who's dropping air quotes?
Did you?
I did not do that.
Nixon?
I did not. I might have my hands up here, but I wasn't.
Jazz hands?
Oh, yeah, jazz hands seems more like me. I wasn't air quoting.
Ravi?
Exactly.
I'm a big New Orleans guy. People know this about me.
Speaking of ownership groups.
I'd take Tomlin.
One of the best, huh?
Shane, you're in purgatory.
That's the worst place
Martha
to be.
Gooch at this point.
Would he survive there?
Martha Gooch? I
No.
don't know.
Nobody survives.
Shane, do you know who Martha Gooch is?
The Gucci's.
He's so stupid.
That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla. Don't forget, go check out our friends over at Next Gen Male Medical. It says male in the name, but it's for everybody, whether it's testosterone, weight loss, whether you just need a little pep in your step. Make sure you go check them out. NextGenMaleMedicalClinic.com. You can make an appointment right there on the website. Go say hi to our friends Laura and Nick. They got you covered. They're the best in the biz. We'll be back tomorrow. It's Hurrdat Sports Live.
See you. Have a good day. Love you.